Well, greetings, folks. It is Friday night, and it is the 96th episode of the Comic Shop Talk, aka Part 3, the conclusion of the Jim Starlin run on Adam Warlock. One Adam Warlock to you. And I'll give a shout out to Ironcaster for this badass thumbnail. Thank you, Caster. He'll be on the way here soon. Fenrir will not be here tonight as he needs to rest because real life is a thing. Of course, Hungry Boy will be joining us after he is done with J-Man. But it is a pleasure to see you all today, right here, right away, early in the evening as well. I'm glad I already see Dave C. and D. Bud Martin. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys for being here early and right away. I appreciate that. And guys, I'm excited about this. Warlock, 13, 14, 15. About the Avengers Annual number 7, and of course Marvel 2-in-1 issue number 2 from Mr. Jim Starlin. And man, so much to cover with these 5 issues. I'm excited about this because this is a conclusion, man. And tonight's 96. Think about that, 96. After tonight, we got 4 episodes left of the Comic Shop Talk, and with having that leading to the calendar date. I'm going to tell you since I see you also. How you doing, Mohammed said. Nice to see you here. Thanks for dropping by. Mark your guys' calendars. Friday night, June 5th. June 5th. Same bat time, same bat channel. This will be our 100th episode of the Comic Shop Talk. It's going to be huge. It's going to be massive, huge. It's going to be great. So 100th episode, June 5th. I cannot wait. We'll be off next week because I got a family situation to attend to. So something came up and it needs my attention. So all is going to be okay, though. So believe that, okay? I believe me. You should believe me, too. And I'm excited. I'm excited about this. And I'm so excited to just get these issues to talk about. So let's bring on our panelists here because they're waiting ever so patiently for me as they see me going off in my sweet new Homer Simpson shirt from one of the greatest episodes ever of The Simpsons. How you doing, Dragon Master 360? All right, how you doing, the common nerd?
Hey, how we doing tonight, guys? How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling kind of green.
You're a little robot-y, but other than that, I can hear you. Yeah, it's like I can hear you, but it's slightly androidy. Slightly android. Yeah.
How's that sound? That'd be better?
Still androidy. Still androidy.
That's weird. Well, let me try popping out and coming back.
Okay, hey.
Again.
Okay. No, you're good. Hey, Elizabeth Young, how you doing? Thank you for being here. And, of course, my guy, Christian DeLong, for a Canadian $22. Says, huge. 69. Slayer. Shout out to Nick. A man worth his weight in salt. I'm honored to call you my friend. Love from Canada. Love you, man. All right? Shoot me a text message, okay? And, yes, it may take me a day or two to respond, but shoot me a message. We got to chat about just the simple things in life, all right? Just the simple things. Anyways, Christian, thank you for that very, very, very generous super chat. That is insane. Thank you. All right, let's bring the common nerd back in. Let's see how you sound. How you doing?
Is that any better?
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I guess StreamYards.
Oh, now you're getting Androidy again.
What the Hades?
I don't know what it is.
Hold on.
I know. I don't understand it. I really just don't. I'm confused. I'm confused.
Me too. So
I'm confused, man. Yeah. Check your settings, all that stuff. We'll work around it. But meanwhile, we got our gentleman backstage waiting. And we got the man who makes the thumbnails happen here, Mr. Ironcaster.
Hi, I do stuff.
Hello.
Hey, I've never been on a show like this. I get really nervous.
Oh, how you doing, Caster?
Oh, It has been a long week. I am so glad it's Friday.
Me too, dude. Me too, man. I'm glad that we're gonna do this show. I'm so excited
Oh
to
yeah.
talk about this Adam Warlock finale because this ends off like, despite the serious nature of the story, it's still very fun and very leaves you with a smile by the end of things. And I at least that's what I felt from this. So we will talk about that. And how you doing, Jace? I see you in the chat. Nice to see you here. But good to have you here, Caster, as always. Appreciate it. And Christian Delorme again. You know what, Christian? You're gonna, even though it's not a direct dono, you're gonna get the Thanos Captain Marvel punch anyways. And Christian again with a Canadian $10 says, and shout out to Jesse, another reason to love Texas. You know, I hope when I come to Dallas in 2 months, I hope this man comes out. If he
See what we
can't,
can
I
pull off.
understand. But I'm coming. I'm gonna come. I'm serious. I'm gonna come, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be huge. So yeah, there will be a Dallas
Huge.
meet. I don't know if anything is. I only caught like an hour of FNT, so I don't know if they mentioned all details. Yeah, but the Dix division at the minimum is gonna be, all of us are gonna be in Dallas in June.
Yeah,
So
I know. Toxic Man Flu was saying that the other day. Is that still
Mhm.
Robot-y?
You sound much better now.
Okay, that's weird.
Let's jinx it, guys.
Right? Yeah, let's chase it. Dope.
All right, we got two other guys in backstage. How you doing, Clobbering Times?
What's up, buddies? Hey, my friends.
Hey,
Good to see y'all. It's time for some serious clobbering tonight. Good to see you. Hello, my good friends in the chat as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Clobby, glad to have you. How you doing today?
Oh, good enough, man. Just took down to the wire to read all these comics. Waited too long, but I got it done now. It's been forever since I've read some of these, so yeah.
No, I hear that, man. I hear that. You know, it does happen like that sometimes. So, especially when, as you said, we're cutting down the wire. But for this type of story, I find it safe to say we call it worth it. Didn't you have a stream really quickly a few nights ago with our bud in the chat, D-Bud Martin?
Had a fantastic time hanging out with the great D-Bud Martin. We, of course, reviewed Iron Man #6 and talked about not only Iron Man, but Iron Man, of course, the artist George Tuska, which would have been his 106th birthday, and just D-Bud is the coolest, man. So great hanging out with him. I hope we get to do it soon. I had an amazing time, and I want to thank him for it again.
Nice. Good, dude. That's awesome. No, D-Bud, somebody we gotta get back on here when, of course, the right time is the right time.
Tuska.
Because I love hearing what he has to say anytime he comes on and talks comics.
Yeah.
It's always a good thing. And
Indeed.
Blunt Philly Review says, I got like 20 comics to remember right now that need read. Good Lord. But you know, it happens, man. I got my collection of trades and then floppies. I'm like, I'll get to you sometime between now and forever. And I've not seen you comment here before, so welcome to the Comic Shop Show. Appreciate your input in the chat. All right, we got two of our guys backstage, and then we're gonna get the show rolling.
Howdy how! Hey, what's up? Is your
What's up,
favorite
Pablo?
degenerate Geek Tropology?
Top 5.
Top five.
Dude, that's a line from one of the issues that we are reviewing today, and
Mm-hmm.
let's say it, yeah, it's our favorite degenerate. It's the only degenerate that we have in this issue. So.
Pablo,
very true.
I'm glad to have you here, sir. I'm glad to have you. So, just to let you know, since we have all of us here, I just want to let you know that June 5th, Friday, June 5th, it will be the night of our 100th episode. So mark your calendars. We'll probably do like a 3-4 hour, 5. I don't know. We're gonna do a Mauler like mini long man series with that one.
Dude, it's
Just a
worth it.
party for the party's sake. So I'm just letting you know mark it down, and it's gonna be amazing. So now we just gotta let Fenrir know, and we'll be good. Of course, we'll rotate people on, but we're to rock and roll all night and party all
Hell
night.
yeah.
So, and Kiss is gonna have nothing on us. You wait and see. Believe that. All right, and shout out to Steve Mitchum and Gonzalo Bergali and Nicholas Gultra. How you guys doing? Thank you for dropping in here.
Yeah, buddy.
Appreciate that. Cheers to you guys. And of course, last but not least, joining us tonight, of course, and he's been a fantastic guest to have on here all 2 nights and now tonight, which I know is gonna be fantastic. He is the hungry boy from down under. How you doing?
I am hungry for some good Warlock review.
Good, as you should be. Even after this is the type of thing where it's like a meal that you go for and you have and you enjoy it, and then you kind of go back and enjoy it again. It's like it reminds me of the days where like I would order a pizza and I'd eat the pizza, and then I'd call the company back like, "Hey, I'd like to order a pizza again." That's what which I have done, by the way. That should be no shock to anyone. I've done that a few times. So that's what I've done personally. And that's what I get when I read this Adam Warlock series. And having my reread, it felt like going for pizza again. And that's a good feeling. You want it to be like pizza. And Friday, June 5th, that is I don't understand. Oh, that's for episode 100, sir. Episode 100. Mark your calendar.
You had said June 2nd, so I think he's trying to correct
you. I? Here. Okay, let me clarify. Okay? I'm looking at calendar right. Oh, I'm sorry. No, all right. I apologize. I'm not even drinking. That's great. June 2nd. June 2nd. I apologize, guys. Sorry. We have 15 of you here in the chat putting up with me already. I apologize, guys. June 2nd, we're going to come. And not only is that going to happen, but we're going to get Sandberg on here. We're going to get Dave Serta on here. D-Bud, if he wants to drop in as well. I definitely want to have a rotation to let people in and, hang out. Steve Mitchum, if he wants to drop in too for a few minutes, Steve Mitchum, yell at me. I won't let anyone on just to have their moment under the sun, just to hang with the boys and geek out all night. And, yeah.
And you can come tell us why we're wrong about comics.
You can. You're welcome to be honest here. We are... despite all things, we are not an echo chamber, but we will have fun though. What we do have an echo chamber about is being, fun and also enjoying good comics. So I think we can all agree there.
And
we
pizza.
Of course. And pizza, right? The pizza is like always like a separate thing you have to mention. It's like,
yeah, there's this war, pineapple, not pineapple. Who cares? It's pizza. Let's enjoy it together. But not
Nicholas
pineapple.
Gultra, to answer your question quickly, some of the guys are from South America. Some of the guys are from Texas. Some from like the New Orleans area. Some from down under. And then we got a Michiganite, and I'm from Illinois. And I see he's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome. I'm assuming this is all right. Steve, we'll be in touch when episode 100 kicks in. You just yell at me, and we will rotate you in, okay? And yes, you can nag me because I'm finally looking at companies for the supplying stuff. So you can nag me all you want. Hopefully, if I'm lucky, I'll have something ready by then too. We'll see. But guys, anyways, I got my drink ready.
Hang on.
Get your... Oh, yeah, there you go.
For tonight,
What do you got, Pablo?
it's not liquid, I will say that.
Not liquid. Is it DiGiorno?
Nope. It goes
No.
in smoke.
Yeah, here, Pablo.
A nice brisket.
There, exactly.
Yeah, basically.
Exactly. He's smoking a nice
Yeah.
brisket.
I love that. All right. No, hey, that's good by me. Well, guys, shout out to everyone here in the chat for being here early and ready to talk about some Adam Warlock tonight, and to the new faces in the chat. This one goes out to the new faces in the chat that I've not recognized. Thank you for being here and being here early and joining us for some Adam Warlock. And to 4 or 5 more episodes away from 100, Thank you guys. Cheers.
Salud.
Mm. Ah. Woo! I feel like Ric Flair. All right.
Thank you, Thor, for being here. It's really appreciated. I always enjoy our interactions whenever we're talking about the art of comic books and the art in comic books. And when we're going to talk about Starlin, you got to talk about the art in the comic book as well as the art in the mind of the comic book creator. You know, you got to think like. You gotta think like, yeah, break into a Slim Jim with that one. You gotta be fierce. Thank you. You gotta be fierce with comic book writing, especially if you're gonna be a writer artist. And I'm really glad to see you here, Thor, Steve, Maddie's daddy. So thank you.
Oh, and he will be on here soon. And Blunt Philly Reviews leaves a very generous
Hey.
$10. Thank you, Blunt Philly. And it says, Happy Friday. Cheers. And you know what? I'll do another one personally from me to you. Cheers to you, Blunt Philly. Mm.
Like your name. Like blunts.
I like it. I like it. All right, guys. Are we ready to talk some Adam Warlock?
Let's see. First, I got one little book. I got one book I got this week. I want to show off real quick.
Okay. Show it off really quick.
One of our favorite internet denizens went and got himself a little comic book. He went and crowdfunded one that, frankly, he should not have delivered.
Oh, go on.
Cecil's book. Cash
It's
grab.
real.
Hell yeah.
It's real.
Look at that. I heard that was a myth.
I am disappointed he delivered.
Exactly. It's quite frustrating that we were all about a cash grab and we got something about it. That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, it's so far I'm about halfway through it. It's the adventures of Cecil in New York City as he's going around and trying to be a hero and pick up chicks and all that.
I love it.
It's a book you can read his you really read with his voice. You know, head down here. Hello.
Oh man!
I'm
So you read
Cecil.
it in this Cecil voice.
Yes.
That's right.
I did have a couple of issues as I was reading it with. Just open it. I did have a couple of issues with it where I was, where it seemed like the pages might have been printed in the wrong order, and I'm like, is this right, or am I just not following along? Like I said, the comedy is really good to it. It's kind of, here's Cecil. But Cecil, I don't want a cop. I want a hero. A hero that was screwed for a month if he gets that purse back. My number's in your pocket next to that roll of dimes. Duty calls. And then,
That's freaking great.
So it's very Cecil-y. Very
Yes.
Cecil-y. Wow, of course, I expect nothing less from Cecil.
let me move this.
Man.
That's horrible.
Fuck. Now I have to find the new slug, the new slugger shell. Don't worry, everyone. He's fine. I can fix this.
That it's now time to go back as of 20 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that preview is the story of the turtle.
Oh, I forgot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I love that preview.
I love the art. It's just it's a really goofy looking design to it all, and of course we have to get a Akira reference in here.
Nice.
Because it would be a comic without one at some point. Like I said, he's going on this adventure around, and he's trying to, track down this purse thief who's gone into a strip club in the middle of the afternoon. Well, he says, for example, the Temple of Poon.
Nice.
Jeez, what
hilarious.
kind of lowlife scum goes into a strip club at 4 p.m?
Cecil would.
Half Japan. Oh, sorry.
Cecil! it's just kind of a funny little book to read. I like him on the back here as well, where he's being chased by half the city. I haven't done a full read through yet, so I at least want to show off a little bit of it so far. But like I said, it's a fun little book so far. I can't believe he delivered.
No, dude, I'm
awesome.
glad to see that he literally delivered. It's freaking awesome.
But it's not
And-
delivery.
It's
the
cash
Cecil.
grab. It's the Cecil. Oh, that was good. That was good. How you doing, Sherry? Thanks for dropping in. And we got speaking of
Sherry.
Jason Sandberg, guy, you
Wow.
are generous at these super chats. Holy crap! Jason Sandberg for $2 says, dude, thank you. Hail the chat. No, dude, thank you, man. I'm so happy for you and your 5K success. You have been busting tail, whether it's being on here, Common Nerd, Klobby, Comics Division, Shane Davis. Like, you have been anywhere and everywhere you can go. Obviously, you've been on so many more things, and obviously, hard work literally paid off for you. And now we all get to have our membership card, which I'm excited about that membership card. So, shout out to you, sir. Thank you very much for $2, and of course, our guy Steve Mitchum here for $5.99 says, "I wish it could be more, but ... single that dude." You're good, man. I just like when you hang out. If you hang out, that alone is more valuable than any super chat, and that's counting for even the $100 ones. I like. There's one thing I like more. I like time. I'm a guy who values time. When I can have time, and that's saying a lot because I have a very busy life, and I try to do my best to make time for things, and I don't always succeed. But when I know I'm in a position where I can make the extra room to have time is valuable to me. And I'm lucky I had managed to host 2 shows with 2 panels whom I value very, very much. Whether it's these guys here on Friday nights or my guys on Toxic Tuesday. I value these groups of guys. I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate that I can have them and they are willing to join me on these nights consecutively because, they got channels, they all have lives, and the fact that they're willing to spend time and hang out and just enjoy each other's company and geek out, it never gets old. And I'm very thankful for all of these guys. And and it's not just me saving face in front of the camera. I'm very thankful to them even when I'm off the camera. I think Cass every time he makes you a thumbnail behind the scenes. He can vouch on that. He can vouch. But anyways, thank you, Steve, and I appreciate that. But guys,
We got a lot to cover.
we got a lot to cover.
A lot.
We'll probably do about up to 3. We'll probably do about up to 3 guys per issue since we got 5 issues. Okay, and we'll do 3 guys per issue. Okay, I think that'll be probably the most reasonable within reason. So
Yes, sir.
all right. And
So,
for this issue, starting off,
You know what
what
introduction?
you got, Klobby? Yeah, no, go ahead. Actually, you know what? Do the introduction. I will. If there's one thing that'll be consistent,
It's
is
no
you
big
doing
deal.
introductions. No, do the introduction.
Okay. Let's see. Well, all right. This is of course Warlock number 13, right? There we go.
Yes,
The
sir.
Star Thief. All right, let's see. Born to Earth, man of the born. Excuse me. Stop reading like me. Sorry, cut it out. Who do you think you are? Born to Earth. Born to be. See that word there? Always never mind. Born to be Earth's man of the future. Then forced to abandon his native planet because of his alien ways. He wanders the stars seeking life, gifted with ultra strength, paranormal reflexes, and perceptions, the power of levitation, prodigious ways that he can fly, and the curse of the vampire soul gem. He stands uniquely alone among the heavens. Me, Funky Flashman, present the power of Warlock. Pilgrims coming at you, true believers, and all that other stuff. Let's see. Story and layout by me. Oh, no, not me. Really? I didn't do this? Who said? Just pretend it's me, Jim Starlin, whoever that is. Finished art by Steve Lealoha from Hawaii 5-0. And letters by Tom Oars. I don't know him. Similar to Orzakowski, but we couldn't afford all those letters. Colorist Petra G. Yes, they changed the name to G Spot. Never mind. Edited by Marvin Wolfman Jack. Thank you. Take it away. Whoever wants to.
Ow!
Yeah, very
Was
nice.
great.
Listen to this all
Very
day.
Yes.
I can listen to this all day.
I'm sorry. Let's not make fun of the stand, man.
Oh, that was
Or
funny. Like
That's
I said,
great.
there are things that are consistent, and one of them is you doing that intro. And speaking, since you're on the intro, Bobby, tell us your thoughts about this really wild issue, because it's a very different story from what we got before.
Yes, indeed it is. It's actually it's fascinating. This issue is a pretty interesting creature or concept. This villain is what I call a concept villain because it's really
Yes.
there's not a lot of I guess physical form to this one, but it's a fascinating concept. The Star Thief. I can't remember if they brought him back all that much after this, but without Starlin doing it, it wouldn't really matter. I think they did at some point later. But basically, it opens up on Earth. We don't go to Earth very often in this comic, but we're on Earth in this one, and we have a young person who is in a strange sort of coma where he was born without the ability to access any of his five senses, and we find out that this is yet he, unbeknownst to the entire rest of the universe, this being is inside his own mind, has learned how to tap into every bit of his mind power, the human mind, not just 10% like the rest of us schlubs, and reach into the cosmos and have these like almost omnipotent powers. And yet this young being thinks for some reason, and this is kind of daft, it's kind of a silly concept, he's mad at the world because they didn't cure him, and he just thinks they should have. They just abandoned him. So he uses this extraordinary power that he's tapped into to basically be death incarnated, in a sense, just because he's all ticked off at the universe. Anyway, it's again, this of course allows Jim Starlin to go all metaphysical on us again. But I mean in a very good way. And one thing you also have to remember about this comic right here is it's still bi-monthly. This comic, which was released in March of 1976, which not too long, about 2 months later. That's why you're going to notice a lot of exposition on the next couple of pages, which are basically kind of recapping stuff. You got a big bunch of recap in this one. So
Yeah.
I'll pass that along to the next. But I will say that we're still at a stage where Starlin has some nice layouts in this one.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of this, I mean, look at how it's credited now. Finished art by Steve Lealoha. So they were really rushing things along. Maybe that's part of the reason why this was a bi-monthly book. Although I think it was also because wasn't a really popular book either. So yeah. So anyway, I'll let someone else take it now. It's a very interesting premise, a fascinating villain, and again, unconventional for the times because he's not just fighting some costume schmuck. There's a lot of cosmic layers to this thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well said. All right.
Very good.
Common Nerd, go ahead and your thoughts on this very 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 out there otherworldly issue.
I mean,
Jerry,
yeah, the whole concept, like Kloppy was saying, that's just an absolute trip. The whole idea of him just using his entire brain to reach out there, and then like the guy that he learns to like control and like make, like they think he's like this 24-hour nurse when actually it's just the guy like is basically like possessed him and controls his mind and all of his actions, and like it's his avatar through the world. And yeah, it was freaking crazy watching him like smash things later, going up against Warlock, and Warlock like it actually reminded me of a Doctor Who episode, except they were stealing planets, and then this one he was just stealing stars, just like snuffing them out and like sticking them basically inside of his brain, which is freaking a trip to think about too. So yeah, no, it was very cosmic. It was wild. The whole concept was nuts. But yeah, disappearing stars was not a good thing. Not a good thing at all.
No, I agree. Yeah. I remember like reading, like the first time I read this, I was just like, "Holy crap!" Here's this guy who's in his bed, and yet he has this ability to do what he wants because of his frustration with the world. Which, I guess you could say his motivation is a little childish,
Yeah.
but you can forgive that because sometimes villains are a little childish. But what he can do because of his childish motivations is kind of freaking freaky because he can basically black out the earth and make everyone lose their damn minds. And he puts everyone in a position where it's just like, whoa, what are we doing? How are we going to handle this situation? And Warlock's just like, oh, crud. This puts Warlock in a unique position because he's light years
Yes.
away from all this.
Yeah.
And that is a unique challenge because it's not about now just facing the reverse of you, but now he's facing a challenge from a basic human being. I like that contrast from a basic human being, but who's not a basic human being simultaneously because, there's a little bit of a vicarious way of living. So I'm like, man, that's crazy. And there's nothing in a sense that Adam Warlock can do, but he tries anyway because, well, that's what heroes or whatever you want to call him. He does his best to try to handle situations he does, but this is incredible odds. And for me, like I still felt equal amount of weight out of these issues as much as I did the previous issues. I can't say the dialogue was as epic and moving, but the heaviness of the story felt very real because this was a situation that was beyond his control, even though it's with a human being that he could easily kill, but he can't because he's light years away. I thought that was a really cool way to reverse everything that you saw from before and give us something you wouldn't think would work, but it does. So I absolutely love this issue. Go ahead, Claudia.
So you definitely forgive him for being very stand about the title, The Bizarre Braid of Barry Bowman. The alliteration you're fine with. Want to show you're
Oh yeah,
good with that.
oh
Yeah,
I'm
this
very
part-
good with him using this guy, this
Yeah, I'm just
Ballman, and just be like, hey, look all this destruction we're causing. Warlock's like, crap. Like if I was at home, yeah, I could solve this problem, but because of how far he's out there, it's out of his control, and that's such a wild concept. The fact that he gets in this like space battle, I thought this was such a like wild idea, and
Well,
it
like,
works.
Yes.
It
This
works.
was just like him testing out his powers too, like just starting to figure out what he could actually do, just like playing with people and torturing things for fun. It's like straight up psychopath, or sociopath,
Oh,
however you
yeah.
want to look at it, right from the beginning, and he's just doing it just because he can. Like it's so warped, man.
Yeah,
Well, he also
Good villain.
Yeah, he's a great
Uh,
villain. Some of the stuff he does, I like some of the stuff that I'll turn it over in a second. Just the fact that he does some things, he causes just for his own amusement and his own evil, that just kind of things that we take for granted happen. That happen through everyday life, all the horrible crap that happens to like accidents to people, and I love the fact that's kind of interesting that he's causing these things for his own amusement, and we'll never know. It's just like we just think they're happenstance. Some of the stuff he does, so it's interesting. Another interesting take on a villain, metaphysical.
Think about the nature of the villain. He has no way of communicating or understanding anything on the planet. He really has no concept of love, of caring, because he cannot feel the touch of a person. He cannot feel the warmth. He cannot feel the love. He cannot hear anything. So, as a kid, if a kid misbehaves, you teach him what to do, but he's an adult, right? He has never heard anybody opposing to him. He has never heard anybody expressing anything until the moment he started to meddle in the minds of others. But there is not a conversation. He can feel through the bodies of the others, but his mind is basically taking over everything. Is just absorbing everything. So there's nothing left of the other person. He's still alone, right? He can feel, but he's still in the same position where he cannot reach to anybody really. So he just turns into absolute chaos, absolute evil, because there's no notion of good.
Look at the panels of this. This is chilling to see. Like
Yeah.
it almost feels like a thriller horror movie, in that sense.
Yes.
Because it's like holy crap, this is like when you actually break down this concept and like think about it, yeah, this is freaky and like and that face too. Like something but it looks very alien-esque. And
Yep.
because he's got control of it and just
Scary
saying
stuff.
like it's
Yeah.
actually a
Yeah.
really freaky issue, even though it's not a horror comic, but it definitely has that thriller element. You feel the tenseness of this. And once again, that takes a lot considering what came before.
Yes.
To follow that up, that's a mountain to climb, basically. And
Well, I mean,
I
you could
respect-
just-
By the
You
way,
can go
the
ahead.
art on this couple, basically in the last 5 issues and until the end,
Mhm,
takes a lot from Doctor Strange. Takes a lot from Strange Tales.
mhm.
I
Yeah,
love
I
that.
can see that. I love this right here.
Oh,
guys.
yeah, the giant
Let's
rock
admire
monsters.
this. Him
Yep.
against the
Yeah,
rock
it's
monsters.
pretty dope.
Dude.
Yeah. Like
And
juggernauts.
also the
They remind me
concepts.
like Rock'em Sock'ems.
Yep.
Yeah,
The robots.
great stuff right here.
They remind me of like
Oh.
they remind me of like the Super Adaptoid.
Yep. Dude, everything in these issues is so metaphysical. It's so crazy bonkers.
Well, I love
Yeah,
how
I mean,
they factor
it's-
in like all the elements into it too, because he's like, "Oh, if you're really a warlock, then you should be able to control elements. So
Yep.
I'm going to throw every single one at you." And so yeah,
Wait.
that escalates things higher and higher the whole way through, and it's so freaking cool the way they do that.
How he winds up with this? It's not a battle of strength. Adam Warlock is never really about that, and you see that here further. This is someone who is just pure thought. He's trying to literally beat an idea.
Well,
Yeah.
Warlock has always been kind of overpowered by somebody on every single instance. If you think about it, well, Thanos is technically the same level as Magus, but Magus is stronger than Warlock. So he gets his ass kicked by somebody that can fight 1-to-1 with Thanos. Thanos, therefore, is stronger. You have his fight with Thor, his fight on Counter Earth. Every single time, he's overpowered physically, but he becomes aware of something that gets him the advantage. Either one of his powers, the powers of the Soul Gem, or just something on his surroundings that he can use.
Hungry
Basic-
Boy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Finish your
go
thought,
ahead.
and then let Hungry Boy take it, and then
No,
we'll move
it's
on.
just that.
Okay.
Basically, the man can overcome craziness not only by power, and yeah, he is not about power.
All right. No, a Hungry Boy. Go ahead. You know what? Fuck it. We'll let you have your input, and then we'll wrap this issue up.
Okay, well,
Everyone just couldn't resist it with this one. I can tell. I
It's
can't say I blame you guys.
I gotcha. Well, I got a couple of things to say, but I'll try to be as fast as possible before we move on. Despite the inking being less, I felt that Starlin really stretched the essence of the storyline more than a lot of comic books were doing at the time, and Klobby is always correct in his point of view versus mine regarding the story. This is something Klobby, yeah, I'm bad cop a lot of times on art. The POV regarding the story mattering more than the art, and emotionally,
Hey,
this
Hungry,
story. Yep.
your voice is going like up and down, just so you're aware.
Oh, sorry. Is
No,
that
it's
better?
okay.
No, it's just
not.
the gain is a bit, it's a
Yeah.
bit high.
Go ahead.
Hold
I'll adjust your volume.
I'm gonna turn it down a bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, a little.
No, it's a
be
bit too
little
low.
higher. Yeah. Damn it.
Up,
Damn it.
down, up, down.
Okay, so is this all right now?
It's good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
So emotionally, this story is referring to something called the locked-in syndrome, and that's very deep, and it's hard to take for a lot of readers. But Starlin is trusting us with it. However, here's what I want to say about something Nick said when you were bringing up horror films. This story was actually ripped off by an Australian horror film that got a sequel called. Yeah, and it pissed me off a lot. It pissed me off a lot. The film. It pissed me off. The film is called Patrick, and it's about a person with locked-in syndrome, kind of locked in, kind of comatose, but is aware of everything and can control things with telepathy, etc. So it's like a low-budget version of this comic book issue, and then it got a sequel called Patrick Lives, and I'm just saying, Starlin deserves some royalties from these two piece of shit films.
So what you're saying is you would recommend watching them, is what you're trying to tell us.
I recommend watching them as long as Starlin gets some royalties from them. But these days, in comics and television and everything, we rarely get a wonderful end to a story which begins beautifully, but doesn't end in dream garbage. This is the antithesis of the J.J. Abrams mystery box bullshit. And,
Yep.
and it's also, as Claude
Jar Jar.
Yeah, thank you. It's also very much like a comic book version of a beautiful 1960s Joseph Stefano Outer Limits episode, where it's kind of a one and done, but it gives us everything, but it continues on. So,
Yeah.
You okay with that, Clubby? You would you? agree
Well
with that?
said, buddy. Absolutely. Nicely done.
All right.
Thanks for that movie trivia.
Yeah, right. No, thank you for that, Hungry Boy. That issue is it was an exceptional issue that everyone needed to comment on because of how crazy, and also for the added insight. So we got 2 super chats here before we transition on over. Christian Dorn for another Canadian Fight Does. Christian, bring your family to Canada. It will be good. I'm gonna wait till a bit older, and now I gotta go visit you. I gotta go visit Raquel. I gotta hang out like all my Canadian, but I would love to hang out with Lord Thoth. Islington Girl would be cool to hang out too. Script Doctor, like there's so many people in Canada I'd love to hang out with. I want to do a Canada thing. I want to do a tour of Canada because, and of course you're gonna be a priority, dude. Don't you worry about that. And you gotta show me some Canadian food. And you again, sir, you generous son
Get
of a bitch.
poutine.
Says for another Canadian Fight Does. I visit Illinois. I will visit Texas for nerd, as you should. You know what,
Wait, buddy.
dude. Yeah, oh man,
Christian,
dude,
good
you're. I don't know if you've been to Texas. If you haven't, Christian, but Texas is great. I love going there, and I was in Houston with my girlfriend last month, and I can't wait to go back in 2 months. So yeah, Texas is great. Get Whataburger. All right, let's transition over to issue 14, and you know what? I'm gonna let for this issue number 14. I'm gonna let Hungry Boy, and then Ironcaster, and then Pablo have at it with this one. And what's up, Monkey G-Bus and Philbo Baggins? Thank you guys for dropping in here. All right. Yeah, Hungry Boy, lead off.
Okay. Well, there are times where, as Clubby and I have said this beforehand, you can't have the magic of Jim Starlin inking himself all the time, right? And we've moved on from that. But the thing here is that this is such a weird episode. I mean, going into the shark thing, it does feel like the inking was trying a bit more than the previous episode, and it feels a bit more artistically Starlin to me. But the layout is entirely Starlin, and it just feels we're getting everything that we came to this arc, this story, these characters to get. It really feels like we're going into the higher gear again after the previous episode, and there's just pure excitement, but also there is no diminishment in terms of respect to the intellect of the audience. I mean, when you're looking, I hate to laugh at it because I respect it. It's a very inspirational page to me. When you were looking at the page where Warlock just says "brain" and smashes the rock down, and there's the sound effect "kathoom." I'm just thinking this is everything that a comic book needs to be, can be, should be, and yes, it is deep, but there's almost a 1968 Silver Age Marvel excitement to the whole damn thing, and I appreciate that. when you're just you get a character like this, and you get a big panel. You get a big panel with him in this cosmic starscape going, how? It just really hits all the bases for me. It's like when you're listening to a brilliant song on the radio from the 1970s when they knew how to compose a song, and they knew when the bass should come in, and they knew how hard the drum should hit, and they knew when the vocalist should hit the high note. That's what it's like for me.
Nice.
Wow. Damn,
Excellent.
dude. That was Hungry Boy. I don't know how you do it, but you freaking nail it, man.
Well, thank you.
No,
Do you agree?
dude, thank
Do
you,
you agree,
man.
Indeed.
Okay, good. All right.
Absolutely,
I
sir.
don't want to be the guy out of order here, and I don't want to gush too much
no,
about.
No, it's beautiful.
You're
I mean,
good, man.
he's one of the best inkers on Starlin. I mean, it's incredible work, I thought. And it is a great book.
Everyone chat's liking everyone's really feeling this one. I love it. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it. All right, Caster, ready to go for it.
Yeah, so this is to kind of go into it real quick, briefly. This is the part two finishing up this story with the Star Thief, where Adam Warlock is fighting with him and is basically in a race to get to Earth, where he can get to his frail body and put him and defeat him there. If he can't punch an idea out, but he can go for the body. So it becomes basically a race against the clock, whereas as the Star Thief is slowly snuffing out stars for his ultimate plan of like the grand revenge on humanity for not even trying to heal him.
Yeah, and he decided that one thing you note. I don't know if anyone noted it, Caster, but he noted that Star Thief decided to make this let this be a physical challenge. He made a deal as a challenge to Warlock that while he's coming back, he would only attack him physically, and then let him, which I thought was pretty interesting. Like he's always been such a mental character, or his being is nothing but a mentality. He's nothing but a dissociated like consciousness. So he thought it'll be it might just amuse him to make a deal with Warlock that he would only go after him in the physical realm using physical obstacles. So.
Specifically, the four elements, kind of playing into this idea of if you're a Warlock, surely you must be able to control the elements.
Yep.
Right.
So
sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead.
No, you're good. So it's like we humorously get like a shark in space for water. We get a giant.
Yes.
Well, this was a year removed from Jaws. Sharks were all the rage.
Of course. That's a really good point. Then
Nice.
the shark that looks like it has a 5 o'clock shadow.
Big shark. Farewell and adieu, you fair Spanish ladies.
And the thing is, Warlock isn't going to be able to make it in time. So his solution is he's going to have to do something dangerous and go through a black hole to try to use it as a shortcut to get to Earth.
That's some serious Star Wars type of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Go on, Caster.
Also, I really love the font they use for Star Thief.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little
like
familiar.
Star Trek. Yeah, it's kind of familiar, doesn't it?
Thief. Yep. Star Thief.
And so enraged by this battle with Warlock, Star Thief winds up losing focus ultimately of his servant, the Dr. Lex Luthor, as I was calling him.
Yeah.
Who decides to be the one to take matters into his own hand. Never again shall he be made to be his slave like this.
A nice
To have his very
twist. Yeah.
it's one you don't even expect to see coming.
And no one will ever know what that guy did for humanity or for the universe. In fact.
Oh yeah,
He'll
100%.
just be put away, and he will be believed to be a murderer.
Yeah.
That's
That's the way it goes sometimes.
It's tragic. However, this is also met with Adam Warlock having been out in space, affected by cosmic rays and this. His body has grown out of proportion to where he can't even visit the Earth now. So the story ultimately ends with him so close to home, but he just can't go there now.
There's the shark with the 5 o'clock shadow. Yup. He's got borderline nice little goatee thing going on.
This is one of the best things I've ever seen. A shark with a 5 o'clock.
He's Jabberjaw.
Let's
Dude,
admit, if you have
Jabberjaw.
the power of creation in your hands, why not a shark?
At that time, sharks were the scariest things out there, scarier than any monster or anything. 'Cause it was Jaws had only been around like a year, and that movie scared the crap out of everybody. A shark was big time scary. There were multiple comics with there's a Superman issue by Mike with a Mike Grell cover, believe it or not. That Superman his cape being grabbed by a shark, and it was scary. Like people thought, wow, Superman's dead. So it was just terrifying back then. Sharks scared the crap out of people back then.
I believe it.
I'm not,
I
saying,
believe
I'm not
it.
saying you want to go mess with one now either. I'm just saying now, you see them in videos all the
Sharks
time.
Guys got hilarious comments in the chat. These guys are
Congo.
you guys are killing me in the chat. with these comments.
Slightly.
Congo.
I'm a victim of sleeping shock.
Oh man, that's good.
See, we eat shark down here.
Oh, you eat shark? Yeah, that's a very Texas thing to do.
Yeah.
All right, I think I had it for Pablo for third for this one.
Yep.
All right, Pablo, go to town, my guy.
Dude, this one is tragic. It's really tragic. First of all, the way that the Star Thief dies is just straight up nihilistic. He has the power to literally control matter and basically bring destruction to complete solar systems, right? Well, he's taken down basically being a carrot by a guy fully bald with a gun. Kind of anticlimactic if you think about it. But then again, this whole run is basically about nihilism. It's about accepting the meaningless of a lot of things, and this is part of that meaninglessness. It's just, you might be the most powerful entity around, but you are still a weakling in a way or another, so just take it. Just accept defeat, basically. And Warlock is in exactly the same position. Well, he's back at Earth, and he's not only contemplating Earth, he's contemplating counter-Earth. And he's like, I cannot go back to my home world, and I cannot go back to the world where I'm a god. I can no longer be even worshipped by these people. So, yeah, he has fallen into a level that you cannot imagine, even though it's really stupid. First of all, that part of the expansion of the universe make you big. You can solve that by you went through a wormhole, you went to a black hole. Your whole structure is out of whack. You don't need to go with you expanded, because then you have the issue is Galactus supposed to be normal size but he expanded, or is Thanos just a midget because he never grows that much. So you have a lot of questions there, but
I thought
it's
that
not
whole thing was just a weird plot device.
yeah, is not important in the issue. The important part of the issue is what the writer is trying to convey, and what he's trying to convey is you can try to save people. You might not see them again. You might not even be able to see them again. So is that really what matters? Is that really that important? Having all the powers in the universe, is that really that important? And that message is a downer, to be honest. It's really a downer. This whole issue it's just downer after downer, then a shark. That's rad. That's really rad. Then a downer.
Headed down there.
Yeah,
Okay. What a cliffhanger too, where he realizes that he now has a way where he crosses the black hole, and then when he finally crosses the black hole and he's right by Earth, but now he's a lot bigger, so now he literally can't go on Earth because if he does, well, everyone literally dies because of him. You want to talk about what a freaking problem to deal with? Once again, it's a wild concept. I feel like this is a good way of handling from Starlin's perspective. There's a lot he gives you to think about, and I feel like it comes from the perspective of how to think, not this is what you need to think about. I feel like this is a very big how to think because there's a lot that can really challenge you and challenge the ideals of what's going on, narrative wise in this arc. And I feel like this story definitely, it could definitely get you to ponder a lot of questions on things, and it definitely sparks a lot of them, and it definitely had me, thinking a lot about it over. And that's what's great about the difference between, once again, how to think versus what to think. It really makes you, when you have how to think, that's what's fun because it makes you think about the story and the interpretations, and a lot of viewers or readers in this case see different things of it. Some will see the same thing, some will see different. You can have great discussions about this. This is the type of stuff that inspires great debates, stuff that invokes a good, challenging, open discourse. And I feel like, a lot of the themes and narratives amongst these issues does that. We don't really have that now. We don't have stuff that warrants an engaging conversation. This does that, and I feel like hopefully someday, I don't know, hopefully Titan Comics will deliver a kick-ass Conan, give us something to think about. We'll talk about that caster, but yeah, I really do applaud that from one Mr. Starlin, is him really giving us something to think about. And these issues definitely gave me something to think about. And what a splash page to close it out. Seriously, what a damn splash where he sees the world or the the planets before him.
Yeah.
Like, damn, he looks like a celestial like this. I
Right.
love that.
Yes.
That is a
Yeah.
page, man.
Beautiful.
That, by the way, there are some things about that particular situation. His gravity should basically obliterate every single planet that is near him because, well, he's massive. So he should basically destroy Earth. But doesn't happen. That's the same issue I had with the movie Eternals. This huge,
Amongst
gigantic
many
celestial,
issues.
appears in front of Earth and nobody dies. Really?
Yeah, it doesn't. It don't make no sense. Here's
Yep.
what I like about with this concept, with this ending, because I can see why you'd say it's anticlimactic. I could see your point, but I feel like it almost needed to be that.
I
in
love
the
that
sense.
ending.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
feel like it
It
is
needed to
actually
be.
this ending. It was strong in the sense that it shows you, like, even with all his power, it takes for an outsider to come in and do his thing. And also, it throws the Star Thief off guard because he is so obsessed. Like a lot of villains are, they're obsessed with their monologue and their cockiness, and they get so focused, laser focused on what they are trying to accomplish, that they fail to look on the left side of what's going on there. It's like, hey, you forget what's over here. And him, like other villains, their cockiness gets the best of him. This is what happens when a villain gets cocky, and you see that happen, and it backfires against him. And the way it happens, it makes a lot of sense because he's so well occupied, he ends up getting off, and then boom, that's it. And you're like, oh crap! Like, it's not the ending you expect either, because you think, okay, yeah, it would have been cool to see Adam Warlock come in, easily save the day. That would have been fine and awesome. But I feel like this ending was creative in that regard.
Oh, it was
Well,
perfect.
Yeah, it was very.
Well,
Thank
the other
you.
thing
I
though,
strongly agree.
is, would we really want to see the ending where Adam Warlock walks in and just beats
Yeah.
someone unconscious in a bed? No,
Yeah.
no, it can't be
I
Adam
agree.
Warlock doing
That
that.
wouldn't have been very heroic at all.
I agree. No, I'm so glad he went with this ending, because yeah, I like that Warlock is puzzled by this. He's like, what the hell just happened, type of thing. Like, okay, you know what, whatever it is, I'll take that win, because
A win's a
who knows
win.
how- yeah, who knows how else this could have gone. So yeah, once again, what a fantastic pairing of issues. All right, Klobby, you get to lead on with issue 15.
Okay, dokie. I just like to say that was. I also love that last couple of panels there where the guys like, sorry, what was it?
No, go ahead.
No, where the guys like I've just rescued us all, and they'll never know. I thought that was very
like
Twilight Zone
unsung hero type of thing. Yeah.
I've killed them. I've saved the world. I'm a hero. Don't you understand? I just rescued us all. Sure, pal. Right. Sure. That's great.
Really quickly, I'm going to acknowledge this from Christian. Christian, you crazy son of a bitch. For Canadian $11, just to throw the show off, what's the difference between medium and rare? 6 inches is medium and 9 inches is rare.
Okay.
Credence has always got good
Christian, jokes. Thank you, dude. I love it. That was a super chat too. So I got money to get a great joke from you. That is the best of both worlds. And what's up, Cavatino? How you doing, man? Hey. All right, Klobby, go ahead and go for it.
All right. Well, get ready for some full-on Starlin here because he apparently did it all. Editor Archie Goodwin, the great Archie Goodwin, lettering Tom Wojciechowski, coloring by Michelle Wolfman. Yes, married to Marvy. And again, once again, trapped into doing everything. Everything else it is Jim Starlin. So we've got Starlin on the full art chores here, which is always nice, right? And of course the story. And we have just a series of events.
Is his dick trusting a planet?
Yes.
I know. It's like, are we just gonna gloss over the fact that?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, what of it? When you're that big, you can do whatever you want to planets.
I guess so. One way to get down.
He can fuck the planet.
I mean, he is out in space, so maybe they got cold. I mean, that's the easiest way to warm them up.
I dare say it's huge.
Do we got 22 plus in here? No, 23 in here, chat. Let's give it huge. For Adam Warlock.
Oh man, that's so
and of course this is the very last issue of the series, of the Warlock series, the ending, but not the ending of our reviews tonight, of course, but the ending of the Warlock series. It is basically this whole episode is kind of just whole episode listening. It's a lot of setup stuff. It's a lot of I like the title. It's a series of just stuff happening, events. Oops, I lost my place. Where were I?
Okay.
You
want me to send you the page?
No, I got it. No, I just jumped. You know how it jumps on you. Yes, just a series of events, and that's exactly what it is. It's also a lot of exposition and set about what went before. Because remember, again, bi-monthly, sales were not super big, so they really each issue, depending on who the editor was, and Archie Goodwin was a slick editor. He wasn't as in your face about always anyway. He wasn't always as in your face about exposition and recap, depending on how much time had passed. 2 months had passed on this one. Distribution, being what it was in 1976. You had to kind of recall. So you're always going to get a page or two on that. And this has a lot of that stuff that tells about his past. But wow, beautifully, because this is I hate to say Starlin was a little rushed on this one, but there's some pages when he kind of seemed like he was, and then some other pages which are just top-notch stuff. So, again, beautiful piece of work. Just seeing Starlin having some adventures. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, Warlock having some adventures. But I'll turn it over to someone else. Let's make quick work of this one.
The Common Nerd. It's all you, buddy.
Well, I really like this page, for obvious reasons. I was feeling green, like I said. I thought this was great. He's like
avocado rub.
She's like, Thanos is like, oh my God, she's driving me nuts. She won't get up my, she's stuck up my ass. Like I gotta find something for her to do so she'll go away so I can get moving on with what I want to get done. And I don't want her to find out what I'm about to do, because if she does, then she'll try to, she will not be very happy about my plans at all. So like her plan is to make him like go be, Warlock's basically bodyguard or shadow. And yeah, it was hilarious. I thought it was kind of funny. His
You
whole
know,
logic behind all that.
this panel here with Gamora reminds me of Mike Mignola.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
I
can
can
see
see
that.
that. Although he was,
I mean, just with like the
he was
just with the
influenced
way
by
she's, I mean, just with the way she's shadowed in.
Yeah,
Shadow
also
Legacy.
Thanos and the background on there. Yeah, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Not a big Nola fan myself personally, but I see a lot of people do like him.
Yeah, I love him.
Unapologetic.
When he's drawing monsters and stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
people love him.
exactly. In horror, he's really good, and he's really good on really
People, not so much.
sad and bored faces.
Right.
So,
He's one of those guys that just shouldn't draw humans, if you know what I'm saying. But he really does other stuff pretty well. I mean,
oh yeah. I get you. But his work, the one that I like, basically is about monsters. So,
exactly.
Okay. Got anything more, Caster?
Oh no, I just wanted to make a comment about this piece. I like the look of it.
Oh yeah, I wonder why.
Nice action.
I'm with you there. I like for me, so I'll throw in my piece. I like the entertaining stuff with Pip the Troll because even though Adam literally left him hanging, and Pip's still making the best of his journey, which I'm gonna just go to, and I just thought that was very hilarious to see. I was like, wow, Pip, of course you did. Of course
Oh,
you did. He's got
Yeah.
Pip's just being a little thief. I thought that was funny, and it was a nice little. It felt like one of those like it was just enough of a moment to give you a quick laugh, but not to completely take you out of it. And I think that's how you make a tonal balance work. That's why I feel like this issue pulled off for me was tonal balance. Because yes, you have a lot of heavy stuff going on here. Obviously, you see, you have Gormor going after Warlock, but for me, that total balance that was my biggest takeaway from the issue. Because sometimes, like, you have so much comedy in like especially in a very modern Marvel movie, there's so much comedy and then seriousness that the comedy overlaps the seriousness. And I feel like this issue shows you when you can take a funny moment, have a good laugh, but then go right back into the thick of it all. And I feel like this is how balance works. Nowadays, you don't really have that. It's so Taika Waititi'd up, and you don't feel anything. You don't feel any like tension.
Yep.
And of course, I gotta add to the emphasize of the color of green.
Mhm.
Holy green!
yes.
I was like, bro, super villain color, aka Hulk color. I'm with the emphasis on the green. The fact that
I
this
love
is
the
all
green.
about the fact that he's going through like a I don't know if you would call like a war within himself. I don't really know how to describe this, but you see like his expressions as he's like damn dude, like he's dealing with all this shit here
Mhm.
just because he went in the damn ring, and now
Yeah.
he's dealing with the effects of it. But now he comes out of it determined more than ever. Like, and I was like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
Adam. Who would have thought
Dude.
you went through a crisis within your own head? Literally.
No, it's bigger than
it's-
that. Basically, this is when he seals the deal. When you see it on the annual, and then you see what happens on Infinity Gauntlet and everything. Basically, here is where he accepts melting with the soul gem. So his soul is not the soul gem. He is the soul gem, technically speaking, and he receives every single memory of every single one of the beings that he has killed using the soul gem. So his faces is not only his feelings, it's the feelings of every single being that has died, and we have seen a lot of.
Tuatilicus.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Tuatilicus.
Also,
Go on.
there's something more. He is still fused with Magus. When he destroys his timeline, he
Yes.
absorbs completely everything from Magus. So here is also the Magus
Yeah.
personality joining inside of Warlock. This is the moment when he becomes the soul gem, and it's also the moment when he gains his meaning in the rest of the story. Because, well, he will be the will of the gems, because of this. And there's a moment when he almost surrendered himself to the gem. The gem was willing to take the body and use it to fulfill destiny, right?
Well, that's why he had to dominate the gym.
Yeah, he dominates it, but he becomes the gem. That's why you cannot technically kill Adam Warlock anymore, because he exists in the soul realm. That is a dimension that even if you shatter the soul gem, it still exists. So basically, you cannot destroy him in any way. And it's because of this moment. Yeah,
Well, and it's
a really
cool too.
moment.
After he dominates the soul gem and like gets full control, then like inside of the soul gem now becomes like basically a paradise. It becomes like heaven, and everybody like gets along, and it's really cool. And so I just thought that was kind of that was definitely an interesting twist on the fact that that was one of the benefits to him dominated and having that like a literal head to head with the soul gem's consciousness. So I thought that was really neat too.
Yep.
That also gives us some more great looks at Gamora.
Okay.
Good point.
Bobby, go ahead and take it away with the info.
Sorry about that. I was muted. Sorry. I was going to say that we could take a brief look at something.
Yes,
this
please.
comic that you're looking at here. Well, before that, you're looking at Avengers.
Avengers Annual.
This comic was the last, as we said, the last issue of Warlock, right? And that was released around July of 1976. Warlock would not be seen again until December of 1976 in a comic called Marvel Team Up number 55. And if you want, I could just breeze through it real quick.
Yeah, no,
just
go
tell
ahead,
everybody
my
what
friend.
the deal is, because it is sort of relevant.
Give us context. The chat will welcome that. All 19 people in the chat will agree on that.
Okay. Well, it was number 55. This is, of course, a comic from, like I said, it's from 1976.
Wow.
Spider-Man and Warlock by Bill Mantlo and John Byrne and Dave Hunt. It was from this, continued from the previous issue when Spider-Man and the Hulk and the Wood God were fighting a guy that Spidey ended up on a rocket and got shot to the moon. Because this ties in with the next issue. So just go real quick. So there's Hulk saying he tried to help Spidey, but too late. Wood God said, screw that. So there he is, Spidey. And look at this. There's Warlock is still gigantic at this point.
Oh, I love that. Dude.
Oh, okay.
Nice. That's
and he
cool.
He detects the life form on board the ship. So he helps bring Spidey to the moon, releases him, and they're all nice and
normal size.
Oh,
no wait,
yeah. He finally he mentions that his size had been reducing, and by the time he went to the moon, he was basically. It seems that so that I dwarfed in size the solar system on birth, but it seems that warping through space has gradually reversed the process. I've grown smaller, and then finally, by the time he landed on the moon, he'd finally.
Okay.
He says, again, I've changed size to my original proportions, which is good. Who wants to see him be a giant? Come on. So anyway, very quickly they become buddies for a second, and Spidey didn't know he was going to be on the moon. And he's going, what is all this atmosphere stuff on the moon? And Spidey says he'd heard about it from the Fantastic Four. Blah. And all of a sudden, a very dangerous, very well-known Marvel villain called the Stranger pops up, who is
I'm aware of the Stranger.
Yeah, yes, he's pretty popular, and he wants
Stranger Danger.
He's detected the soul gem that he wants from Adam, and Adam fights back. Spidey tries to help, gets knocked way out of the way, but a character called the Gardener, who's the one who put that garden there on the moon, finally helps Spidey. Spidey goes to try to help Adam Warlock. I'll just go real quick, and eventually,
no, dude, this is great. This is actually really important. Like added context.
This should have been in that.
This answers a lot of stuff that I had some slight confusing questions. So thank you for doing this, especially with the size. The size downing. I was like, okay, I think I know, but I wasn't completely sure. So this changes a lot. Thank you for mentioning this.
Well, they only left it out of that collection unit because that was all about Starlin.
Yeah,
It's only responding
I
to
think
that.
Aaron.
Okay.
Since we know Spidey pops up later, this also gives a little bit of context to that. So anyway, needless to say, Spidey and Warlock, with the help of the gardener, are able to repel the stranger for now to get him out of there. And so everyone know if there's any kind of a gap when you read this thing, if you bought like the Starlin trade, for example, that's why. That's what happened. That's why later in one of these in the Marvel team up 2-in-1 thing, that's why Spider-Man is contacted, and that's why he knows Adam Warlock and yeah,
Lord Chaos and such.
right. So anyway,
Wow.
Nice.
Klobby, could you put that the name of that issue in the private chat? I'm gonna let
Actually-
all 22 people in our chat know which
Okay.
issue to check out for. That way, if people who obviously who are learning about this Warlock story, they can read that additional issue because I
you
feel
would
like
put the
that would
link
be a
or,
very or you can just put the link, whatever you
I put
want
it
to do.
in the Twitter chat, but it's in our
All
Twitter thing. But you wouldn't put it in
Oh,
the
I
regular
see.
chat?
I've not even looked at Twitter yet. I've been so focused.
You would put it in the private chat, or
Yeah, put in the private chat just so we
Okay.
can let people know what the issue is named,
Yes.
so we can tell people to check it out.
And,
Because that is huge. Seriously, that adds so much.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Okay,
That makes a lot more sense now.
And again,
Yeah,
this
because I
is,
wondered, wondered where, like, when did he get small? Like, he was huge, and
Right.
then all of a sudden now he's hanging out in the Avengers headquarters, and I'm like, what the, what?
Yes.
I didn't even think about it.
then
Yeah,
he got
normally it's
Alright.
comics.
And remember, this is like 6-7 months later from the last appearance, since the Warlock So before we're about to go through, which is Avengers Annual 7, this appeared, and then, and I'll let you start out, Nick. If you want to say, now we're moving on to Adventures Annual number 7. This was in August of 1977. Like, so you went from December of 76 to nothing with Warlock until this book. So you had like almost you had like 8 months between this one I just showed you with Marvel 2-in-1 to this Avengers Annual. So just so we'll all know what was going on at the time.
No, thank you, Sid Klobby. I am eternally grateful because now I'm going to read that issue myself. So thank you for that. And guys, for all 23 of you in the chat, thank you for being here. This is the issue Klobby was highlighting excerpts from Marvel Team Up issue number 55. And what's up, Claude Parrish, Bruce Lombardo, and Jason Webster. Thank you guys all for dropping by and being here. This is the additional issue that adds so much detail from Avengers Annual number 7, Warlock number 15, and Marvel 2-in-1 number 2. So this will help. Obviously, it wasn't added for the collected edition because, as Klobby mentioned, Starlin didn't write, so they didn't really add because it was mainly about Starlin and him doing Warlock. But now you know that this is a very important issue that should have been added for the sake of the continuity and canon sake. But anyways, that's a whole other conversation. We got a guy who's been waiting very, very patiently to talk more about these fantastic comics. And we got Philbo here now motivated to hunt for these copies, as he should be. What's up, Philbo? Hungry Boy, I know you're hungry to talk about this.
Well, yes. I mean, luckily for me, I won't have to say much because Klobby actually said everything that needed to be said in so many ways, and I appreciate that. I think his point of view will hold sway over mine. I will just therefore talk about the art and say that I have always been a massive fan of Joe Rubinstein, sometimes pronounced Rubenstein. I think that Rubenstein is a much better inker on Mr. Starlin than Lealoa was. He adds detail, but there is an organic personality to his inks. But that is matched with an attention to detail and an attention to control. And it is very clear when Rubenstein is inking Mr. Starlin. You look at when Starlin's inking himself and he has all the special effects of the Zipatone and the stars and various other situations artistically. Mr. Rubenstein rises to the occasion and he makes it feel like Starlin did it himself. And then with the layout, we're doing a segue here from the mostly metaphysical plus a little bit superhero to half and half metaphysical plus superhero, going back to some of the stuff that Starlin did before he was even doing this stuff. And I thought it was a perfect segue. I don't know if Claudia would agree, but I think Starlin was really just continuing to hit mark after mark after mark.
Oh yeah.
And I've done an annual myself, so let me tell you that when you're doing an annual, it's a lot harder than doing a single issue. It's a lot harder. It's planned out ahead. The editors have very clear ideas of what they want out of it. You're doing a much bigger page count. There's a lot more weight on your shoulders, and the deadline is it's like a nasty little mosquito buzzing in your ear. So to have a great team like this, providing an annual like this, and let's be honest, every comic book company, no matter what their version of an annual is, there have been some crap annuals for a lot.
Oh, yes, there have been.
You know, Clubby, you're laughing. You know what I'm talking about, okay?
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about. This was not a crap annual. This was an annual as an annual should be, and it carries on the continuity, and visually it is giving us a little pat on the head going, it's okay, sonny boy. The good art will still be here a month from now. It's fine. And it basically was everything you could want out of a 1977 comic book.
Yep. Indeed. And I would say that last issue, that team up, this and then the 2-in-1 after this, all edited by Archie Goodwin. That matters because he kept all the issues. That's why the even that team up is pertinent, because he made sure that story, which Starlin did not write or wasn't involved in, still continued over from where Warlock 15, the last issue of that, into this, flowed into it. So
And can I just add, just so Clubby will laugh? These stories, Warlock 15 and this annual could never have happened with Jim Shooter as editor in chief.
No. Yes,
Here,
sir.
no, okay. Here's what I'm gonna give credit to. I'm glad you mentioned about annuals, because as annuals can either be really good or absolute shitfest, and it's because of what's being told in the story. The annuals could either be the most meaningful issue, or they could be the most pointless issue. And I love it when they're meaningful, because especially as someone who's now I'm as of today on issue 60 of the first run of Marv Wolfman's Teen Titans. I'm on issue 60, and there's been 3 annual issues to this day, and each of those issues has added something important to the story, and it feels like it's not just annuals just to cash in on a big, I don't know, issue number. Like, those issues add something that is very important to the story, that if you don't read it, sorry guys, if you don't read it, you're gonna be missing out on something. Go ahead, Pablo. Go ahead, take it away.
How do I talk about this craziness? Basically, you are facing absolute chaos with the Avengers, but the Avengers need to become the Cosmic Avengers. So you need to add Adam Warlock. You need to add Gamora. That technically she dies before. Is complicated. Thanos don't like women. Don't like women of color. Anyway.
Ginger said.
Pablo, you're killing me.
Dude, somebody had to.
So the Avengers show up to cancel Thanos.
Yeah, basically that's the story. No, really, it's Thanos finally snaps. He is like, yeah, I need to deal with Warlock, and I need to get the Infinity Stones, and I need to deal with everything right now, because Lady Death is holding me, and that feels bad.
She's not answering my calls. Do you know how this feels?
The previous issues where it was not clear what Thanos' intent was, that he was not in love with Death and everything, we were speculating. It was more fun. Now that we know, and they are direct with this, that Thanos really is courting Death as a woman, and he's simping for her, it loses a bit of energy. I will be honest. That takes me away for a second. Then the action is really cool. And there's moments when you ask yourself, why is this not another movie? You had the
Yeah.
chance to have
Right.
this, and then you will have Infinity War and Endgame. But you could have added Adam Warlock, and you could have made the story between the Avengers and Thanos, where you have more strength. Because let's be honest, Thanos appears at the end of Infinity War in Earth, and he's bashing Captain America, and it feels quite empty because we have never seen them face before. But in the comics, we have seen them face before 4 or 5 times. So they have a story, they have an understanding between them, and that enriches the dynamic. Anyway, uh, in this comic, that dynamic is really cool, and I love that. I love how much every single one of the characters can gel into the story. And even in the next one, you have a Spidey that does something really really cool. But yeah, basically they use those interactions between the characters to make it work. We don't have that in the movies, and that's a little disappointing. Thanos deserved more.
Of course, of course. So I apologize, chat. The buzzer went up because pizza arrived. So I know, big shock, pizza. I know, but I just want
It's
to
okay. It was for
apologize.
pizza.
Ah, yeah.
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 Um.
Typical.
Anyways, I want to add to this issue my side of it. So for me, I love the way Starlin writes Thor. Sorry, Vision. There's something about his vision. I'm like, man, that is the vision right there. Like when I don't know what it is, and of course
Yeah.
I love the way Rubenstein draws these characters. I love his splash pages, and I love how full of action and energy. Each page feels like it's energy, and I'm just like, man, this is cool. And I felt like I had such a fun time reading these issues, and also like it's just like, damn, you really like feel the chilling like scariness of Thanos. Like all these heroes who were reacting to like, oh crap, he's coming. We know it's like we dealt with him before. And I can't help but hear Beast's voice from the 90s X-Men cartoon. When I hear Beast speak, that's all I hear is the 90s
Yeah.
X-Men cartoon. I
Oh, my
know that
stars and
voice.
garters.
And I was just like, that
Yep.
this is cool. But I really I love the emphasis on how powerful Thor is and how important they make Thor is very important, and they always say, hey, no, we need Thor. Hey, you better watch out for Thor. And that's I feel like that's such a missing element, and it reminded me of how essential Thor was for battle. And obviously there's some added payoff for Thor in the next issue, but I love that emphasis on his importance. And,
Well, I got a question.
yeah.
I got a question for you and Clauby. Might
ahead.
this be might not, as a credit to Starlin, might not this be the first time that Moon Dragon was tolerable?
I don't know. She wasn't much of a biatch as usual, was she?
I don't.
I gotta admit. I guess
I'm
now that
indifferent.
you mention it, but
I'm indifferent. I mean, she wants to be there with the heroes to help save. No,
yeah, she was not actually nice in this one though.
yeah, maybe, and that's I guess where my argument is only valuable to a point because I don't have the added issues of what she's like on the daily
Oh.
versus what she's like in these
awful.
issues.
Right.
I see her in these issues. I'm like, oh
She's a
hey,
snot.
and then you guys tell me she's a snot. I'm like, oh okay.
Ugh.
See, I only had these issues to go off of, even though that panel on the
She's
right
just a-
looks like Cersei.
She's an aristocratic bitch, basically.
Wow.
I really liked seeing that other side of Beast. That wasn't a side of Beast I'd never really seen before. Like him making cocktails earlier, and then like playing cards and shuffling. Like, ooh, I'm used to the. Yeah, I got a storm rolling in.
Oh wow, man.
Ooh.
Look
Yeah,
at this
it's pretty
panel
cool.
build up right here. Where
Some great stuff right
Pip
here.
is like talking
Yeah.
about how everything's gonna be all whatever, and then you see the eyes. I was like, dude, the shadowing of Thanos right there is so
Silhouette.
badass.
Yeah, it's dope.
See, I think-
Rubenstein- Go ahead.
I think Jim Starlin figured out the YouTube thumbnail before YouTube.
Nice. Yes. With the glowing eyes.
Love that. Nice one, Caster. Nice one.
No, and he's right. He's right. But once again, I love the added emphasis on Thor. And look at Thanos
Pip.
compared to Pip. You a tiny. I just hear Thanos with like an arm voice. You a tiny Pip. Shut up. I kill you. And all I hear is I kill you. Shut up. I don't care. But yeah, I read all this. I'm just like, Moondragon seems fine. Like, I don't see the issue. But to me here, the real heavyweights feel like Thor, Vision, and Iron Man. And of course, Captain America leading. Captain America feels like a freaking leader, which is what I love too. Like, that's what Captain America's supposed to do. He's basically the coach, except a bit more physical than your average coach. But
Well, I would say, don't go discounting Captain Marvel here.
no, and I won't. I definitely
Poor
won't.
old Rick
And of
Jones.
course, yeah, of course, got look at this panel. As you see all the ships, I'm like, damn, bro. So yeah, I had a blast with this issue. I had so much fun with this, and obviously, once again, it just lets you know that these comics matter.
Thor.
And dude, come on,
Thunder.
see
I
what
love
mean
that
when
when
I
he
said,
said, "Yeah," but he says, "Look, Thor and Iron Man, go take care of that space fleet." Gotta love that.
this is what I mean. Thor is taken so seriously, like in that sense that yes, he's powerful. He's the big muscle of the Avengers. That hey, and he does not fear Thanos at all, which is another thing I love. Well, all the heroes are like, oh crap, here we go again. Thor's just like, bro, bring this sumbitch on. Let's freaking do this.
Thor's great.
That's what I love about
Some great Thor in this one. A lot of great Thor.
Yeah, this looks and feels like Thor, and I just envision myself as
Imagine
as
that. He's not a
Thor.
clown. He's not acting, making jokes. All he wants to do is kick Thanos' ass.
Yep.
Thank you, Clobby. Thank you.
No,
That's
but
Thor
from
right there, buddy.
from the beginning, Thor, when he sees
Oh.
Adam Warlock, he snaps. He's like, motherfucker, I want to
Hey,
beat you.
common nerd. Hey, dude,
Yep.
I'm sorry that the power went out. Obviously, you know what to
Ooh,
do.
sorry,
if it
dude.
goes back on,
Ooh.
you can come right back in. If
No
not,
shit.
dude, thanks for being here and
Oh
listening.
my goodness.
But we're gonna
Stay
be
safe.
here because we got another
We'll
issue.
be here for you.
Oh, I see what you did there, Steve. Thor's the man. God.
Thor's
That's really funny.
Yes.
That's really good.
Exactly.
Hey, Clobby,
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
do you happen to know if he still had the time? If Thor still had the 60-second time limit on him here, or no, or was he
No.
past that?
At this point, it was still Don Blake was still very much a part of the Thor stuff. Now, whether it was he still had that time limit thing, I mean, it's been so long since I've read the comics since 1977 with Thor in it, but I don't think so at this point. It may have,
'Cause-
but I do. All I can tell you is that he was still Don Blake was still a part of the Thor regular comic. Just
Okay.
never saw him in Avengers.
I love too
Um,
with Ruben's scene. We got some great splash pages too. I'm a good sucker for a splash, and especially if it's a big fight. Anything with
Right.
a big fight, it feels like it's just a big old bar fight between heroes and aliens. I just feel the intensity with this, and I can hear the sound effects in this page. That's what I love. I can hear the punches. I can hear the nailing into things. I can hear the guns going off. I can hear Beast Grizzlin. I can hear Vision with his powers. I can look and hear this page. That is just awesome.
Apparently, no, I'm saying Matty Zay said he still had it at this point. I mean, I haven't read a Thor comic from 1977 in forever, so I couldn't tell you. But he
And
said
the
he
other thing too, again, going back to having the right inker with the right penciler, and this is something that is totally lost in modern comics today, which have too little rendering. They're like coloring books for pseudo adults, so like coloring books for 30-year-olds who are like 5 years old inside their heads. And then with the 90s comics, you had over rendering. But when you got Starlin and Rubenstein together, you have the precise right spice mix in the recipe for the chili of detail versus letting certain aspects of the art breathe, letting open areas be open, having the right amount of black areas, having the right amount of rendering on the muscles. And we just don't have people who give a shit about that anymore.
Nope, sure don't.
No, we really don't.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go off there, but it was an art.
Oh,
No.
dude, no, it
Don't worry,
was
dude.
super
Love it.
necessary. All right, before we go on, I want to acknowledge these. Christian with an arcade 5 says, "Dirty joke 3: White horses fell in the mud." Cheers, Christian. Oh, and then again says, "Have a good night, boys. Stay in touch, Nick." Cheers, Christian. Always. Thanks,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Get some sleep. Good night. Thank you for your insanely generous amount of super chat, sir. All right, get some rest, and we'll be in touch soon. All right. Yeah, Klobby, go ahead and go ahead with any additional thoughts on this issue.
Well, I just want to echo a lot of what Hunger Boy was saying. I mean, George Rubinstein is just fantastic. I mean, what a wonderful job he did on this issue in terms of his inks. And of course, it's a beautifully laid out comic book. There's a lot of exposition, as I think I mentioned earlier. This came out, like I say, 8 months after the last appearance, and about almost a year after the one Warlock number 5 or more than that or whatever. So I mean 15. Sorry, the last. So there was a lot to recap. It does it very well. This is just all out. I mean, this is an annual. I remember once in a while they would cheat you on an annual. They would be like, let's put a filler type story in. But sometimes an annual was a big thing to look forward to, and more often than not back then, the annual was really special. And they were asking you in this case, because we're about to get to this is 2 annuals in a row we'll be doing. They were asking you to shell out 60 whole cents for this annual.
And 60 cents was $5 and $7 to $11.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a lot. And this lives up to what an annual is supposed to be. All out fun, just the coolest art you're ever going to see in an annual. Some of my favorite Starlin art of all time. And again, gang up a bunch of superheroes of the Avengers, no less, and have Jim Starlin, and you have Thanos and Warlock. I'm all over it. This is great stuff. A wonderful issue. It's I mean, what a spectacular way to end this saga. So many great things in it. I love it.
All right, awesome. Well, guys, we got another issue to go, and we'll admire some art as we transition over to the next issue. And this is obviously the thumbnail, thanks to Casser. But dude, what a panel here! Who? Adam Warlock, the God Slayers come for you, demon. Prepare to die. Like, man, whoa! What a panel.
What more does it need to say?
Nothing. And once again, dude, look at this. Thor once again, like he is the muscle against Thanos, and I love to see that. It's just, damn, dude. And Warlock, yes, Warlock. I know you're going through more conflict, but dude, shit's gonna get real quick. And
Note the
then.
green.
All right, so for this last issue, we're gonna all have a say on this one. All right, all of us. Seriously, this is a big one. And also, what's up, Keely Chow? I see you in the chat. Thank you for being here. So I'm gonna lead off my thoughts on this issue. I love the way Rubinstein draws Spider-Man in action. I love his Spider-Man movements in action. I love it. And the fact that he takes this character who's being summoned to this intergalactic battle when he's just the friendly neighborhood like guy who fights guys in animal suits mostly. I thought that, and the way they made Spider-Man like go against this, they didn't have some exaggerated way of him being Thanos. They had him being an asset without it not making sense anymore, where it's just like, I can't buy into this, because even Spider-Man is written to know his limits and know what he can and can't do. But the things that Starlin has Spider-Man do make sense within the confines of his abilities. Because as powerful and strong as he is, he's no Thor, he's no Captain America, he's he's none of those guys, and but he still manages to succeed and help and still be very important to the story. And you know what? And I know you guys are mentioning your issues with Moondragon, but dude, shout out to her, man. She summoned
Yeah.
Spider-Man. She got a hold of him, and of course, I'll never, ever, 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 ever get sick of banter between Spidey and anyone from the F4, and the fact that we get it from Ben Grimm, and once again, he feels right at home with Ben Grimm. The fact that Ben Grimm and him and Ben's I feel like Ben, the character in himself, is just having fun time, just going to travel with Spidey to go fight Thanos and just give it all you got. And it's a slugfest. It's fun, amazing art. Once again, just all out action and a nice, heartfelt ending as well that left me like, damn, this is really it type of situation. Like, I was definitely, let's just say, I was feeling the moment per se. I had such a blast with this issue, and despite the deep themes, I was still all smiles about this issue. This made me feel like this is what makes comic books fantastic and fun and memorable, and want to have me come back and reread it over and over again. But yeah, once again, the Spider-Man for me, that was probably my favorite stuff of this, because Starlin really makes me feel like he knows Spider-Man under a stressful situation, that it takes a certain type of stress for Spider-Man to not joke around about it. And this was that situation, because usually he's quippy when he's in battle, unless it's that serious. And this situation is that serious. So that's all I got on my end. I'll pass it on to Ironcaster.
Well, I mean, one of the things I think is really interesting with it to get into a little bit of the quote unquote secondary story to it, of how this is effectively a story of you have a Lord Order and Master Chaos are arguing with one another. The fact that these two are effectively having to work together to figure out how to defeat Thanos. It's you have these cosmic concepts putting their problems aside to say this is bad. You know, as big as it is to have the heroes fighting, you now have the cosmic entities taking notice and starting to take actions to stop this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a level of significance that might not really be picked up on or really thought of too much at first, but once you've obviously kind of gone and read the later stuff like the Infinity Gauntlet, it's kind of coming back to it's like, oh yeah, they're really building this up like it's important. This isn't just someone saying, I've never been hit that hard before, to imply a villain is nasty. No, this is beyond the heroes. They're all being defeated one by one. And of all the heroes it's down to, it's Spider-Man and the Thing. You know, two of the most popular heroes of Marvel.
And they work so well together, right? Castle, their chemistry together is really fun. Like it's kind of like, I think that it's almost like if Johnny's a long lost brother, Peter, Ben Grimm is like his long lost cousin. That's what I get.
Yeah. I always like the relationship together.
God, I love it. Anything with Spidey and F4 is like, that's a must. Seriously.
Yep.
Yep.
Like I said. And of course, this winds up ending with us getting that memorable pose of Thanos in stone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like now the pieces have all effectively kind of been set up for what would eventually come with the Gauntlet.
All right. Will that be all, sir?
Yeah. Overall, This is a great run. I am so glad I got a chance to finally delve into this.
Right. Absolutely worth it. What's up, TZ? Hi, nice to see you here.
Hey, TZ.
All right, hungry boy. I bet you are ready. Unload, my friend. This is our last chance at the dance, so you got to go all in, my friend.
Okay, I'll go all in. But first off, let me just compliment everything that everyone else has said thus far. totally mimicking, or should I say, correlating with my thoughts. So it's nice to be on the same page with everybody for once in life, especially about something as precious as the comic book medium, which is not appreciated by any other medium that parasitically sucks its blood. And Clobby knows what I'm talking about.
Agree. It's still the greatest storytelling medium ever,
Yeah.
for me at least. And I'm going to stand long by that.
Right. So 100%. So in regards to this, number one, I will say, you look at a storyteller in comic books who, going back through all the issues we looked at, this is a very big arc, is keeping the quality together with so many characters and keeping the vibe, but also maintaining whenever he needs to. The underlying humor is 900 pounds of ass kicking. And then let me also state that anyone who can take a cosmic Karen like Moondragon and make her appealing deserves both an Eagle and an Inkpot Award.
Oh man.
I love the way the thing is drawn here.
Dude, right? It's so good. No, Rubenstein really he draws a great Ben Grimm. I really like his Ben Grimm. I love it. And this was such a great panel to get to have Spidey break the ice at the Baxter building. But carry on, Hunger Boy. I don't mean to take away from you.
Well, no, I mean, you and Thor in the chat, Matty's daddy, you're bringing up certain things here where the thing is, I would say, and Clubby might disagree with me, but I think he's going to agree. The Thing is the greatest comedian, not comedic character, the greatest comedian in all of Marvel comic books, because he's got the most pain and he has to translate that in a moment to get, to bring down his anger over his own situation. And I think Starlin really gets that. I think a lot of writers get that, but Starlin really gets that. I think and then to have the other greatest comedian in the comic book annals of Marvel, being Peter Parker. You got this guy who's like in his 40s messing with a guy who's barely out of his adolescence, and they're being funny together and they're mixing it up on these pages. You got to be a comic book genius to pull that off. All right. And I honestly will say, and I think Starlin, in terms of whatever you can call genius in comic books, I think he's a genius. And I think this was his sweet spot. I think this was his 1977 to 1979 Lucas years. I think this was his Steranko 1968 to 1971 years. And I think he pulls it all off and with aplomb. And look at right there. Look at that expression on Ben Grimm's face.
Yeah, right.
That's everything that I'm talking about right here. Everything.
He looks so. I love how puzzled he is about everything he hears. He just wants to believe that Spider-Man is just nuts for everything he just heard, because Spider-Man just unloaded over coffee, and he's just like, "Bro, what? Get real! I gotta get real, man."
This is what I'm going to say, and I mentioned it before in terms of dramatic timing, but I'm going to mention it here with Starlin in terms of comedic timing. It's incredibly hard to get humor to play across on the printed page. There are almost no great humor comic books. I think Clobby would agree. Almost none. Because it's about physical timing, visual timing, and tone of voice. And, you're dealing with a silent medium, and you're dealing with panels by panel, and the size of the panel and how many panels are on a spot on a page decide what the timing visually to the reader's head is going to be. So if you can pull something off like this and know exactly how thin to make those panels, how many panels are in a sequence, and then just have that one little speech balloon, old tennis shoes, that means you are a comedian at heart, as well as a guy who can do the deepest, darkest, oh my God, I'm going to turn into the Magus. I got to do something about this stuff.
Indeed, well said.
I'm sorry. Did I get too emotional there or something?
No, dude, you could have gone on more, and I would have been okay with it.
I'm done. I want to hear more from you guys.
All right, Pablo.
Hey, first of all, I love when they use Spidey and the Spidey sense right. Is from the very get-go when he gets the call. You can see the Spidey sense is triggering at max. And when he finally saves the day, it's just Spidey sense well done. And even Spidey in this issue shines. The moment when he realizes he cannot win against Thanos, he puts his everything in the fight. He literally throws his whole body to regain the Avengers and maybe, just maybe, have a chance. So, no, man, I love the way they did Spidey here. I'm really glad that I had the chance to read this again. And there's a bit of mysticism in the way this comic ends. The way that Adam Warlock he's technically dead, but he is just a vengeful spirit coming out of the gem and basically taking Thanos to hell. So he's just a stone in the middle of a space station, and nobody will ever remember him, well, except that revives him for Infinity Gauntlet. But here it looks so real that this was the finish for Thanos, because he's getting his match. He's dead, and Adam Warlock has already taken that part of Magus as himself. He is life. He is all for life. He wants to see the ones that have died, and that's the soul realm. So he's seeking life even in death. And him taking Thanos that is dead, it's just beautiful. I love the concepts. I love the way that it was played, and yeah, it's a great ending.
I agree strongly. I noticed too, like there's heroes in action, but there's also a certain way to be having Spider-Man in action, and a certain way to having even the Thing in action.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Starlin and Rubinstein really nailed that, because you notice there's certain movements to the way their bodies move. And if I'm like, okay, yep, that's Spider-Man in action. That's Ben Grimm, the Thing in action. I always feel like those are characters that have a very particular way of being in action. I feel like that was definitely very well nailed in this book. And once again, for Spider-Man to be in the mix of all this, the Thing, I can see this. But for Spider-Man to do it and to make it work and to make you be sold on it, that's not an easy thing. I can imagine this issue had to be a bit hellish on Starlin to write. I'm sure Rubinstein had joy to draw this, but as far as writing this, yeah, Starlin's probably in this. How do I make this make sense? And shit, he did. He really did. So, you got anything else, Pablo, or will that be it for you?
No, that will be it.
All right, Clawby, you get to bring the grand slam to it all.
Well, I'll tell you what. This backtracking a tad for a second. Yeah, there was a strange transition from this annual to the annual was it Avengers annual? What was it again? It was Avengers annual number 7, which was released in August of '77, and then Marvel 2-in-1 annual came out. It came out just about a month later in September, late September of '77. Worthy to note, by the way, that this big epic space cosmic battle with spaceships and weird looking aliens and stuff, there was a certain movie that was still in theaters at that time. I believe it was called Space Wars or Star things, Star somethings or whatever. Kind of, you may have heard of it, but Star Wars, that's right. You may have heard of it. It was kind of small film,
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, in theaters. Strange thing, though, however, the previous issue, the Avengers annual, ended, of course, with the sad demise of not only Pip and Gamora, but Warlock, and they all go to heaven, to paradise. And the Avengers are standing around kind of sad about it. Well, the next thing we know, when we get into the Marvel 2-in-1 annual, number 2, which is just brilliant, of course, by Jim Starlin, Joe Rubinstein, and editor Archie Goodwin. Peter Parker being contacted by Moondragon. And I like how they got the little thing at the top of the first page. Wait, don't read this story until after you check out Avengers Annual number 7, now on sale. So, man, yeah, it's been on sale for a while. You better get to that 7-Eleven if you missed that one. And if you missed it, you're in trouble. It's kind of strange because they just they had to edit, and this you can understand where Archie Goodwin was coming from. He had to edit it like you may not have read that previous issue. So it's got a lot of exposition that kind of
especially on a different title name. Name. It's like, yeah, it has the same writer, but you can't. It's like they knew to assume. Don't assume that everyone can get a hold of every title, and that's how it should be.
Well, not only that, Moondragon basically beamed Peter Parker the Cliff Notes because it didn't exactly happen the way she told him. Nevertheless, because we don't see the Avengers get captured.
No, we do not. Yeah,
so if you see what I'm saying.
No, I know exactly what you're getting.
Nevertheless,
go on.
Yeah, it's weird. No, yeah. But how does it get much better than my favorite superhero of them all, Ben J. Grimm, with one of my other favorite superheroes, Spidey, and then with all these other superheroes that I love, it's really, really so well done. The characterization of Spidey and Ben is great. All their team up stuff. I love the fact that Spidey realizes relatively early on, that the only way able to get me to get out into space is I got to go to find the Fantastic Four. Now we don't. They never say where Reed and Johnny and Sue are, but that's okay. We know Ben will take care of him while he's sitting there reading Salem's Lot, by the way. Like the Baxter Building. So they have their usual squabble at the beginning, but still they're friends, so Ben's okay. He's just a grumpy grump Ben. And then that's some great character stuff at the beginning. He says, yeah, we got spaceships. We're the FF. We'll just go up there and fly up there and see what's going on. Hell, we don't even have to call Reed. He won't care. But there are like a zillion spaceships. I think you probably should have called Reed and the rest of the FF. But all right, whatever, man.
Nah,
they're let them. We'll take care of this.
It'll be fine.
Reed would be a nerd.
Don't try to call Doctor Strange and let him get the Defenders to come up there with you and all the other reservist Avengers you might want to find. We'll take care of it. But it's just Thanos, by the way, who they know and they've met. But anyway, so in spite of the cavalier and probably unwise strategy by Ben and Peter, it's just such a great time. They go to the ship. I love their fearlessness. And after Ben gets taken out, I love the fact that Spidey, by the way, this is Ben's title, but Spidey gets to be the hero. What's wrong with you, Jim? But kidding. It was great. While Warlock's happy frolicking in paradise, Spidey comes up with a pretty good idea of faking that he's running for his life. And he says, you know what? He raises reasons. I don't have a chance, but Thor does. So my objective will be to get Thor out of there.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like Thor's the only chance we got, and of course the other Avengers then might be helpful as well. So I love his strategy. Is about I'm going to fake it, a head fake, make myself look like a chicken, and my mission will not be to fight this guy up front because it's stupid. There's no way I have a chance getting him. Let me get help. Let me get the Avengers another shot at it. And I thought that was excellent, brilliant, of course. And it was just a typical fun slugfest of a superhero comic, brilliantly done with extraordinary art by Jim Starlin and Jovis Rubinstein. And just what an annual should be. And I love that big splash page with Thor, with Ben holding Thanos and Thor knocking the crap out of him. That's great.
Oh, dude. I want to get up off my couch and just seriously punch the air. God, that's cool. Seriously.
It's great. And that one page with him still fighting, with Thor and Ben both fighting him. That was cool. Then they both punch him at the same time.
Oh,
that's
a
great shot,
right?
Still,
I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
That's
beautiful.
This is definitely the issue where it finishes off strong as a ton of geekgasm moments. This issue is like it's a flood of them. Ultimately, it's a flood of them, and I hear.
Yeah.
I thought I heard someone or something.
No.
Okay, there you go, dude. Come on, look at that. Dude.
Oh, it's great. I love it. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh,
great stuff.
Man.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
And you see all this even in the background and back of them. You see Captain Marvel. You see, look, Vision's got his hand right through. like Beast right there, Captain America, dude, like everyone's hard at work, and Thor and Thing are just like, we got this guy, we got this guy. You know what? And
Yeah.
all of them are T names: Thor, Thing, Thanos. Is that funny how that happened?
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's very basic stuff, very brute force stuff,
It
but
is.
Spidey, it's cool
But
stuff at the end.
it's a payoff that makes sense. All the action, it feels like it makes that much more sense. And it's that much more meaningful after all the build up we get.
Yeah. I like when he gets Captain Marvel, when Spidey asks Captain Marvel, so now that we've been disarmed, what will the Avengers do with Thanos' crew? Says probably release them. What? You kidding? You got to be kidding.
Oh,
What would you suggest doing with them? Imprison them on Earth for their crimes? Think of all the problems that would cause. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Oh, dude, I chuckled at that. This is like, yeah, he's kind of right because
Right.
hey, we got people on our own planet, let alone country to deal with. Now we gotta take care of someone from another planet.
Right.
Hey, look, we just saw one of Thanos' many powers that we never saw in the movie.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. Yeah. So it was just a big slam bang him up, but it was a nice payoff for the whole ending of sad that this had to be like the end of Warlock till till
while.
much later. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he goes to have his little peace for a little while anyway, some peace in heaven or in paradise.
He made the grand mistake of being a comic book superhero. They don't get to be happy for long.
That's right.
Yup. I like these panels with Spider-Man, the fact that he's dazed and he now strikes the guy out and then he knocks the ball down and then he gets Adam Warlock to come. And it's very rare when you see Thanos shooken, and yes, this is a funny looking panel to a point. It's not lost on me. I can see Beavis and Butthead laughing at this type of panel for obvious reasons.
It's like Peter shooting fire, fire, fire.
He's peeing on the floor.
He pees fire. Fire.
So is Thanos?
He's fire.
Is Thanos shook by his presence, or the fact that he's making a mess on the floor? You decide.
You decide.
The worrying part is, shouldn't the stone be a bit more up?
You won't look at things like, oh, what the fuck is going on?
When the stone is in the floor, maybe something is really wrong with you. Just saying.
I think Thanos just saw the one. I think Thanos saw the fight he just lost.
What's up, Anonymous? Yeah, fire slime. Look, stay back. Get that fire slug away from me.
Wait. Do you think it burns when he pees?
Has to.
I don't know.
Waltzing
Classic
is
scene
a
right
drag.
there.
Oh, I know, right? This is such a great shot, and it shows you, like, once again how fast, especially from the hero's perspective, everything is crazy, and then boom, before you know, it's like, oh shit, dude, he's solid. Like, oh crap, it's over. They didn't realize because they're so caught in the midst of battle, barely hanging on, even with the second round. Obviously, they put up a better fight the second time, not just because they won, but because they had experience of what they're going up against. But for them to be like, oh crud, it's over. Like, that's, whoa, what? I thought that was a cool, like, way to end it. I was like, damn, and you really do feel it. And I love, of course, the last panel where obviously it's not just the heroes paying their respects, but seeing the minions all like fall in line and surrender. I laughed my ass off. And once again, nailing humor in a comic, as Hungry Boy says, is tough. And you could decide if this panel is meant to be or not meant to be funny. For me, I thought it was funny as fuck, because you see all these little alien characters who are so quick to defend their Lord and Savior Thanos, but the minute he's gone, whoosh.
Dude, your boss that was supposed to be omnipotent just got kicked in the nuts and turned into stone.
100%.
What else do you do?
That was meant to be funny. 100%. I was barely into puberty and I was laughing my ass off at that panel. So
Kevin
perfect.
Dillon nailed it. Adam Warlock's when he got huge.
Huge.
Huge. And I love, of course, Captain Marvel's dialogue is really moving too. Like, man, I thought, wow, this is a really, really good like soliloquy speech type of thing for Adam Warlock, and is, I guess you could say, the closest thing to peace, paradise, heaven, whichever. And I love his
Oh,
tombstone.
here, a
Here
kitty
lies
cat.
Adam Warlock,
Yeah, that's
God
mine.
Slayer, Savior
Nova.
two worlds, and tormented soul.
that's
And that
Noah.
really, it's funny because it made me think about in the fourth John Wick movie. There's a certain scene with a certain character, and they're like, "What do you write on your tombstone, and how do you make it meaningful?" When you actually think about that, that's a tough thing. It's like, how do I only use a few words to define my life? And I thought about that in that John Wick movie. I'm like, wow, that actually now that I think about that, is actually God not be easy to think. How do I sum up one's life? And rereading this, I thought about John Wick, and I'm like, damn, that really does sum it up. Like, and that makes sense. Like, if you were to imagine what his tombstone looked like, that is absolutely nailed right there. I mean, may he now be at peace, 1967 through 1977. And of course, Spidey and Clobby, they want more coffee after a hard night's work. And they
Yes.
still got to figure out a way home. I thought that was a nice, touch.
Yeah,
But
I think
go
they'll
ahead.
get home.
Oh, they
I mean,
will.
it's
It's
like,
Marvel Comics.
I don't think they have
They
any
have,
coffee on Thanos' ship. I'm just going to go out on one and
no,
say,
they
good, you're
don't.
not going to find crap around there.
No,
Go
they
home and worry
definitely
about
do
coffee.
not. And hey, Steve Mitchum, have a good night, buddy.
Good night,
Thanks for
buddy.
hanging out with us. Appreciate it.
Bye, bud.
Night, Thor. Thank you for being here.
And guys, Adam gets now rest. And you know what? I'm happy for him. I'm very
Who had
happy
what?
for him.
Yeah, no,
That
yeah.
Adam finally, him, Pip,
Sure.
Gamora. And then you see Thanos shed a tear because he can't do shit about fuck in this
Magnificent.
situation. And he knows it too. He's like, oh, damn it. I can't do shit about fuck right now. So, what a great ending. It feels like the ending of a book. Like, it really feels like a book's ending. Like, this is the last page. This is where it's done. And what a way to send off a whole arc between the 2-in-1 annual, Avengers annual, Warlock issues. Like, holy crap. And Strange Tales. Guys, 3 weeks of this has been a joy. And rereading it has been an even bigger joy. Holy hell, guys. I might have to shed a Thanos tear. No, I'm not
I
gonna
know.
do
I
that.
mean, dude, comics rarely got as good as this. Rarely.
Seriously, there's so between obviously the dialogue, the way the characters, like the action movements, and the amazing words spoken by Adam from a very super idealistic point of view, the heavy themes going on, the different contrasting sorts of villains. Like, he's actually, when you think about it, he actually has really unique villains, even though he doesn't have many of them enough to call Rogues Gallery. But the ones that he did have are very effective, and so much lore, so much at stake. This is just Marvel Comics, like on roids. I love this book, and I'm probably gonna do a third. I'm probably gonna do a third read now, if we're gonna be real here.
I have to say, Nick, and I hope you don't think this is going to be too over the top, but it's very rare where in comic books you have somebody who has such a depth of the human experience and metaphysical experience in their writing that can translate so easily, but then they can translate that visually themselves without somebody else. And I would go so far as to say, as we close this off, I feel that Starlin, with this arc, I'm not going to talk about his stuff before or afterwards. With this arc, he is the Stanley Kubrick of comic books.
Oh,
That's bold.
I do love me The Shining, man.
Yeah.
I might have to agree on that, because Stanley does have a lot of deep, very like wild, ambitious themes, and Starlin is obviously, he was very ambitious with what he was attempting here, and he absolutely stuck the landing, which is something Kubrick did as well. Yeah, I at least from those points of view, I would agree. I would ultimately agree, and I can't wait to have that third rating. The fact that I have a time in my life where I have my softback, I have my giant ass hardcover, I have my cool Adam Warlock figure from the Silver Surfer cartoon. It's just like I don't need volume 3 to satisfy my needs. I got what I have here. I'm happy with it, and for those who want to go on and enjoy it, if they do, great. But I'm happy right where I am.
You're not gonna go see Volume 3?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I will if Stella says, "Hey, let's just go see it." I'll probably cave in, but I don't plan on going out of my way to even mention it. Honestly, I did enjoy the holiday special, but outside of it, movie
Yeah, that's
wise,
pretty good.
I've not seen. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Outside of that, I've not watched any of the movies. I've not seen anything since Doctor Strange. So we're talking, almost a year. I didn't see Wakanda. I didn't see Love and Thunder.
Blunder.
I didn't see Quantum Mania.
You're
I didn't
lucky.
see any of them.
I did,
I
unfortunately.
saw
This will be
every
the last
single
one.
one.
This will be the last one I go to see. Next week, I'm going to see Guardians, and after that, no, never again.
I left Love and Thunder. Like I was pissed when I left that movie.
Oh,
Like
sure.
Yeah, so was I.
I was, yeah,
Yeah.
like saying, this is the last Marvel movie I'm gonna go see. Like at that point, I was ready to say, I'm done. And I'm looking at the Guardians 3 like, this is gonna be Wakanda Forever all over again. How much of this is just gonna be basically a funeral like send off for the Guardians, because we know like almost
Yeah.
all of them except like maybe
We're gonna
Groot.
go to DC.
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking at it like I would rather watch The Flash.
Not me.
That is a lot.
I don't know if I agree
I
with
don't
that,
think
but
I
I
can
can
do-
understand why you say. I understand why you say
I'd
that.
rather see Guardians than that, even though it might not be good. I mean, The Flash. You'd rather sit through Ezra Miller for 2 hours? I mean, at least this has a chance to be maybe okay, unless you don't like the Guardians.
Well, at least with The Flash, it sounds like there's at least going to be some fun cameos, even if just for like what 2
5
hours.
minutes each.
I mean, just over the movie.
But do you,
yeah,
do you dislike the other two Guardian movies, or are you fine with them?
I like Guardians 1 better than 2. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I was underwhelmed with the second one.
Right.
Here's
Is it-
okay.
yeah.
I agree with you. Now here's the part where I'm going to be slightly contrarian. I did like Volume 2 with rewatches. I did enjoy that more.
Yeah, I
movie
liked
more
it a
with
lot.
rewatches.
Yeah.
It did feel like it had, in my opinion, rewatchability, and I did enjoy it. So I do
Yeah.
enjoy the second movie. Actually, when I first saw it in theaters, I actually was underwhelmed. I didn't hate it at all, or I didn't even dislike it. I liked it, but I
Yeah,
wasn't
same
like
here.
all in on it. But I really enjoyed it on rewatches. So I feel like that definitely helped with it, was the rewatchability, and I feel like that's something that's really lacking now with a lot of the movies. Like you watch something like the Strange sequel, and you don't feel a need to go and try it out again. Guardians Volume 2, I can at least say I felt that, and I did, and I followed through with it, and that was all good. And what's up, Matthew Pounder? And
Hey,
what's
Matthew
up,
Pounder.
G-Ger says, great video today. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching the video. I
Yeah.
had a fun time recording that one, so I do
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Ooh.
Appreciate it. But guys, chat,
We did it.
another one for
we
the
did
books.
It. An epic.
I'm going to do
Yeah.
one more for the chat here because there's 18 of you still in here. Guys, thank you for being here once again, almost 2 hours and 15 minutes in. This is another cheers to you guys in the chat. And Christian, you crazy son of a bitch. And of course to Steve, Jason, Blunt Philly. Thank you guys for your insanely, wildly generous super chats. Oh, and speaking of the devil, Bushpan down for $5 says, this was a great run. I started collecting when Starlin was working on Silver Surfer and Infinity Gauntlet. Thanks for the comic knowledge. It helps that I have a panel here that has equally as much, if not far more. I just try to be someone who could at least add something to the conversation. But Thank you, Bush Pan Down. I do appreciate it. It just helps I have good guys behind me or in front of me, however you want to swing the perspective.
You do
But
a
thank
lot
you.
more than that, Nick. You do a lot more than that, okay? Because
I
you're
don't agree,
Absolutely.
but thank you. I don't agree, but thank you. Thank you. Seriously,
you
no,
actually care about this stuff in a way that a
I
lot of
love
people
this
your age
stuff.
don't. You know, you actually appreciate the Silver Age stuff, the Bronze Age stuff, the newer stuff, and you think about things before you ask the questions of people. And to have your brain work in that way, it's exactly, I can guarantee you, that is exactly what every freelancer in comic books wants. They want people who buy the comics and read the comics and appreciate the comics to be like you. So let me just close off tonight by saying that.
Dude, thank you. That's heavy. Thank you, Hungry Boy. It's just I like hearing like from you, Klobby, Pablo, and Caster, and of course Fenrir and Commodore. I can listen to you guys. I'm good. I'm like for me that I get inspired by that because like I want to have guys. I don't need to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to be around guys who I feel like are better than me, so I can try to aspire to that level. And that's what I get when I get guys like you. I'm like, that's what I want Aspire to be. I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to have a room where it can be fun, friendly, like competition of knowledge and trying to understand point of views and being taught things from you guys. It's a wonderful gift and it never ever gets old. It never gets old. And I can listen to all you guys here on this panel all day. Right? Once again, obviously, yes, the alcohol has kicked in. I am slightly drunk. But I will mean those words when I wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. Believe that. Believe that. But chat, this has been great. Seriously, thank you guys. Almost all of you stuck around like, holy shit, that's nuts. But thank you guys in the chat for supporting the show. Thank you for supporting 96 episodes of the Comic Shop Talk, whether you're here for some of it, all of it, or if and I see we saw some new faces tonight. Thank you, new faces. Hopefully you liked what you saw. Do come back for more. Obviously, the big episode 100 is coming in June of. Let me get it here. June 2nd, episode 100. It's going to be fantastic. We'll get guys like Sandberg on here. We'll get Dave Surt on here. We'll get D-Bud on here. Steve Mitchum. We'll get other panelists from other channels too. We're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna go, like I said, we're gonna do like a Diet Mauler stream that night, and I'm here for it. So seriously, thank you for your support, chat, and thank you for once again all the insane amount of super chats. Oh, D-Bud, do not. No, I should say do not come, but I don't mean that. I don't want to lie to you like that. I don't want to lie to you like that. So I want you to.
Costa was robbed.
So, okay. I'm going to let these gentlemen plug in their channels, and we're going to say goodnight. All right, guys? Because as I've always said before, you always leave the audience wanting more, and well, the audience is still there. So, with that said, Ironcaster.
Oh, you caught me just, I feel like a sneeze coming on. Guys, this has been fun. I am so glad to have finally read this. I don't know why I was putting this one off. This one was well worth the read. I just want to say real quick to the chat, guys, if there's something you want us to read, let us know. I've got a list I'm working on. I want to put together. Let me know what you want. Let me know what you guys want to read. What you guys want to hear us talk about. I'll put it on a list. We'll put it into the lineup for considerations or whatnot. But with all that said, you can find me tomorrow over on the T-Shirt Historians for the Week in Geek, where, oh boy, as I apparently have to keep bringing up every single time I'm here doing this, Wizards of the Coast. They always seem to step in it, and this week they decided to go after someone who had gotten some magic cards early from an upcoming set, and hired the Pinkertons to do a shakedown. Yeah, it's a crazy story.
Horrible.
Hey, since Resident Evil 4 came with the mercenaries, they needed to step up.
Yeah.
Ooh, D-Bud, that is the Teen Titans, dude. Oh man, I do. What an incredible piece of story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will we're gonna have to have some talk with the comic shop boys. We're gonna have some talks about that. We're gonna
Okay.
talk because
L'Oreal.
that is something we have to
How
be
far are you now?
strong.
How many issues?
I'm on issue 60 as of today.
Wow, that's great, man.
I'm up to issue 20, I think 27. So I've gotten to meet
Oh,
Tara.
dude. Oh, dude. Oh, man. I can't wait for you to get farther. I can't wait. Oh, I'm excited for you, D. Bro, Artcaster. Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Gonna be.
And, oh, D Bud, I got to it. Trust me. We will most likely do some with Teen Titans, and we have to figure out how we want to handle Judas' contract. But yes, we will do it. We're gonna come. I promise. Okay, we will come. Caster, it's been great. Thank you for your thumbnail services and your suggestions and ideas, and always helping to keep the show growing. I feel like you definitely have made the show better, and it really would be what it is without you, dude. So thank you, and have a great weekend. All right, my friend. Pablo.
Hey, today I want to plug enjoyment. Just go and enjoy something. Go and play a video game. Go and watch a series. Something that really makes you happy, and enjoy. Because sometimes you just need that. And we are almost to 100. We are really, really near. So let's go.
Awesome. Pablo, thank you, my friend. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. I can't wait till we have episode 100 in a few weeks, dude. It's
Hell
gonna be a
yeah,
blast.
brother. Hell yeah.
Seriously, guys. For him and Caster, the channel links are in the description. So you just literally click on it, and it'll take you right to their channels in the description. And I know he doesn't really have a channel yet, or maybe that's just wishful thinking. But I will let him have some final words because why the hell not?
Well, I do have a channel, but the point is, there's no point in doing a channel when I can support channels like yours and Klobby's and associated people. So I actually do have a channel, but I never go into it. And I'm actually uncomfortable having the channel be promoted. I would much rather have people come here. I would rather have people go to the Clobber and Clubhouse on Klobby's channel and other associated comic book channels, and to have people that really appreciate the medium for what it is versus what it is often whored out to be. Sorry to be direct.
No, you're right.
It means the world to me. And if we just had people in Hollywood who could look at what the storytelling, being a pure form of storytelling, words plus picture plus emotion plus thought, just leaving it at that, the amount of good television we could have, the amount of good movies we could have, the joy for young people we could have would be amazing. And your channel helps bring that hope to the forefront and helps keep that hope alive, just like Klobby's channel keeps that hope alive. And we can bring it back. We can. I mean, we're all going to be old and gray and in wheelchairs by the time it gets brought back, but it can happen, and it will happen. But in the meantime, I don't need a channel. I need your channel to stay alive and strong, and Klobby's channels to stay alive and strong, and that's it.
Oh, dude, we're not stopping, man. And Hungry, I appreciate you giving 3 straight Friday nights of your time. Obviously, different time where you are, but regardless, the sentiment remains the same. Your time is valuable, and if you ever want to come on, whether it's episode 100 or just whatever, just yell at me, and I'm just most likely going to say yes, because the only way I would is if the panel's already full and I'd rotate you. But you're always welcome back, dude. I love having you on. It's been a fucking blast, and I'm glad to finally actually chatted with you on here. And for this particular comment, it was one of those things where astronomy was working our way, and the stars aligned. And I hope one day our stars align some more.
Well, 100%. And I'll just say this, and then I'll shut up. You and Warlock and I are like Clobby and the Fantastic Four and I.
Oh, that's ultimate, dude. Wow, dude. Thank you. Seriously, your insights are incredible, and I'm lucky to have you on here. Seriously, believe me when I
I'm
say
lucky
the
that you're on
pleasure's
the
all
net,
mine.
dude. I'm lucky that you were on the net. I'll give you. I'm gonna. I got to give another compliment. Damn it. I'm sorry about this. But I said this to Clobby privately, and so now I'm going to say it publicly, and it's going to apply to you as well. I got so frustrated with the comic book industry that I bowed out and I was silent and I was a ghost. I was like, I was like a complete specter, not being seen, not being heard from. But with what Clobby does and what you've been doing, okay, you brought my love of the comic book back despite the industry. You opened my heart again, and I was able to come and talk to people on YouTube, talk to people on Twitter. And if it wasn't for people like you and Clobby, dude, none of you people would know none of that existed because it had been so horrible until people like you showed up. So thank you and thank Clobby.
And
We want
speaking
to
of
say,
which, and thank you, Hungry Boy.
thank you,
But
buddy.
let's give our last and final respects to the man himself, Captain Clubby.
Well, thanks for having me, buddy. Again, Hungry Boy, those words, I don't know what to say, man. They leave me speechless. I'll try to be speechful anyway, but thank you. I cannot thank you enough for those. And I truly mean more than you can know. You've been fantastic and a great friend since we made friends. Not I guess a year or two ago, it was when we first started seeing you pop up in my chats, and I appreciate it. And of course, Nick, of course, has been one of my greatest friends over here, my earliest friends at YouTube. So thanks for having me, buddy. I love this Friday night gathering you have a Comic Shop Geeks. It's been fun, and what a great comic to review. It was a great idea when you mentioned it for a while, and we tackled it, buddy. We did it 3 shows straight, man. Way to go, Caster, Pablo, and Nick, and Hungry Boy. It's just great stuff and a lot of fun. Tomorrow night, I will. My wonderful first officer will be out on an away mission, so she won't be there tonight, but tomorrow night. But I'll be having Saturday night Star Trek just the same. Just won't be reviewing any episodes, but it'll be some Trek talk, real deal Trek talk, of course. And then I should be at the Sunday Night Geekery with the great Mark D with the C on his our good buddies channel Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, maybe a little bit later than that, depends on how he's able to make it. Now on Monday nights I do 2 things. I do on our good buddy J Man, who has a great channel. You should check it out. Another comic book geek extraordinaire. I go on his channel and we're reviewing all of the Legion of Superheroes from their very first appearance in 1958 until they stopped being the Legion that matters in 1989. So there's a lot to cover there. We do that 3 times a month. Then we do Bob Haney after that. Once a month is that. So I go on there like 4 times a week on Mondays. Then there's my show, Monday Night Mark G Comics Talk. Our good buddy Jason Sandberg, who you mentioned at the beginning of the show, who is of the comic book Jupiter, will be joining me for that. Monday night to talk more about his comic. He's a great guy. Had a great time talking to him a couple of weeks back, as you did. And so I'm looking forward to that. That's what I got going on right now. And again, all of my shows on my channel are 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So thanks, buddy, for having me. And everybody out there in the chat, you are fantastic. Have a fantastic weekend.
Oh, and you as well, sir. Always love hanging out with you. I feel like we just basically see each other here every night on YouTube,
man.
and it's always it's a wonderful thing. All right, and
Yeah, buddy.
kill it on Saturday Night
Thank you,
Trek
Matthew.
tomorrow night.
Thank you, Matthew, for saying that. I appreciate it. I'm glad somebody likes the Haneyverse.
Good. No, that's good. All right, and then last but not least, I myself, I put out a video earlier today. It was titled "Heavy Metal Was Always Diverse," and I just basically dropped 10 minutes of examples. I wouldn't call it controversial. I just call it factual. Some will call it controversial if they're offended by it, but I honestly, there's nothing controversial. I'm just stating facts. So yes, I did that video earlier. Obviously, next we'll be back. Next week we will not be here because of stuff I gotta do, real life. But we'll be back here 2 Fridays from now. And remember, June 2nd, episode 100. Mark your calendars. Toxic Tuesday, this coming Tuesday night. Death Wish 2. So it's gonna be massive. The Tuesday night, Toxic Tuesday, Death Wish 1 was wild. I look forward to matching that, if not exceeding that. Of course,
This ain't over.
I will probably have a video out next week for when the Free Comic Book Day Conan hits. So I will have an honest review on what the new Conan is like under new leadership with Titan. Hopefully, it's good. I'll be honest if it is or if it's not. And of course, you can find me at Midnight's Edge After Dark, and of course with Comics Division, the Dix Division on Yelena Park Cars and TNT. Yes, Bush Pan Down, Toxic Tuesdays, Tuesday night. Show up, my friend. It's gonna be a blast. And that's it, guys. All right. Once again, thank you for hanging out. Once again, thank you for supporting the Comic Shop Show. 96 episodes. There's shows going on right now. Doomcock's got his thing. Matt from Fallball's got his last episode of the MFR Cocktail Lounge. So go check one of those out. If you aren't checking out any of those shows and you're going to bed, well, thanks for sticking with us till the end. Until then, we don't have an outro. So this is pretty much, this is good night. Actually, hold on. I lied. I have an outro. You know what? I'm going to play that outro.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.